I'm actually excited about this time. I got a lot of stuff on time travel. I've started to take notes on different topics whenever I see them, like on Reddit and stuff. So we're prepped.
You're taking notes from stuff you see on Reddit.
Like, for example, if I see something interesting.
Those are called screenshots, William.
No, I take notes. I have like a.
That's the start of the podcast, by the way, right there when Billy was like, I'm pretty psyched about time travel. I've been taking some notes.
I actually went back in time when I had the notes to now to give myself the notes.
If you were to go back in time, like one day, what would you do differently?
I would.
Would you plan your time management for this morning a little bit
yes.
better so that you didn't end up having to bring your dog into the studio?
Yeah, but I think it's a blessing, not a curse.
I'm blessed by this. I like this.
Yeah, we have a dog in the studio. Sorry, Arian. I know that's probably painful for you.
Pick the right Monday.
I'd have been remote in building.
He's chilling in the corner. He's being a good boy. He always closing his eyes.
He is. He looks tired. So welcome back to Macrodosing. We're pretty pumped about what we got in store for you guys over the next couple of weeks here. Big plans for next Monday. Big plans. Arian's coming to the Big Apple. Going to be in studio, and it'll be a lot of fun. So how was everyone's weekend? Avery, I'm sorry about your Rangers.
It's okay. Nothing to be sorry about. We're up 2-1 in the series. I always say it. You know, everybody says it. Series doesn't start till you win a game on the road. So gotta take care of business tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we do.
Coley, I'm sorry about your Celtics.
There's nothing to be sorry about there, friend.
Why is that?
I've truly never been less worried. I was more worried about the Eastern Conference Finals in this series.
But, I mean, you got your ass kicked yesterday.
Yesterday was tough. We forgot to pass. We forgot how to pass. The very concept of passing escaped everyone on our team. We're not great on consecutive games for whatever reason. That's been, unless it's like double elimination games in a row, then we shine. Playing with a lead, even in the Nets series, we struggled with a lead until like game 3, they kind of quit. Game 4, KD remembered he was Kevin Durant. But this whole playoffs, like I've never felt more comfortable.
So I don't know if I'd be comfortable if I were you, because like you can't really get a beat on this series at all. It's been really weird. It's just been like a story of quarters. So
5-1.
Yes and no. Both first halves have been dead even.
5-1.
5-1. What does 5-1 mean?
4-1. I'm sorry. 4-1. It's going to be 4-1.
That's what I said before the series. So yeah, I agree.
Not in your favor.
I know what you meant.
oh shit! Coley's breaking out the sassy voice.
Yeah, no, Boston fans, they're different, man.
Game 1, I think we were down 4 going into the third quarter. They had a 8-minute run, and then we dominated the last 16 minutes. Yesterday,
but come on,
we were down.
That's not even realistic.
That's exactly what happened.
But that's not realistic. Like shooting like 65% from threes is not a realistic expectation.
When they're all wide open, I mean, their rotations are slow.
It's not realistic.
Most NBA players can hit wide open shots. We saw that yesterday.
Jason Tatum, he's not going to win MVP, right? He's had 2 bad games, right?
I think that if the Celtics win, there's still a very good chance that Jason Tatum would be the MVP.
Yesterday, he scored 29 yesterday. He does not have 2 bad games.
His differential was terrible.
Oh, plus minus. Billy's diving into the deep metrics.
His plus minus was the worst of any player in modern history. The worst plus
stat that should ever exist in basketball.
The worst plus minus by any player in a finals game in the play-by-play era. I mean, you can't have him on the court.
It just means that he got his ass kicked. That's all that means yesterday. But I still think
it means him and 4 of his pals got their ass kicked.
If they win 3 more games, there's a good chance that Jason Tatum's going to be the reason why they win at least 2 out of those 3 games.
Right now, he's not the front runner for us.
Who would you say that would be?
Al Horford.
Jalen.
Not Big Al?
No. It was Jalen started the run in game 3. And then yesterday, before they called a call, I don't know what else to call it, when Gary Payton, the second, just missed a layup, so they blew a whistle because he got hurt 2 rounds ago.
About the refs again.
And
he put like a whole tweet about how he don't complain about the refs, and all he do is complain about the refs.
No, I said I don't blame them for losses. I'm on their ass all 48 minutes. I don't know what to tell you.
But
All 48 minutes, I'm on their ass.
You don't blame them for losses, but you just always gonna point out their mishaps.
Non-Celtics fans yesterday were like, "This is tough. And to credit to them, this is what I said in the Miami series too. Draymond played like it was an elimination game. He was extremely aggressive from the opening possession. He tied up Al immediately. He was extremely physical. They weren't calling it, much like Miami. It's like the Legion of Doom Seahawks. All they did was grab and be like, look, the refs aren't going to call every pass interference. And it's a strategy. Golden State out physicaled us yesterday and knocked us off our game. The players were complaining. Ime got his first tech. I don't remember the last time he got a tech. And after the game, he was like, yeah, I swore at them until they gave me a tech, which I respect.
They needed to be cussed at too. I'm not going to blame the refs for it.
No.
But the way that they officiated Draymond Green yesterday was fucking hilarious.
Steve Javie came on national television and was like, he's already got one tech. You can't give him another. That's just how basketball is played. Like, that's not how it's played, Steve Javie.
Draymond had the best possible strategy for this game. In retrospect,
Correct.
It worked perfectly. On Saturday, he tweeted out about how great Adam Silver was of a commissioner. And not as a commissioner. I'm talking about a CEO, all CEOs across the world. Adam Silver is definitely top 5. And buttering up Adam Silver turns out worked perfectly because Draymond came out there and he wasn't even really playing basketball. He was just running around the court, getting into a series of altercations. He was like rubbing his feet on some guy's face.
Yeah, Jalen.
Yeah. He had that one play where I've never seen a play like this before in the NBA, where he just put on his fullback hat and he blocked 3 dudes just going downhill, just like running into them and pushing them and challenging the refs. It's the old saying, like how the Seahawks used to play and the Patriots did this too, how their defensive backs would play. It's like just push, grab, shove, and they can't call you on every single play. Make them show enough balls to throw a flag on every play, and you'll get away with a lot of stuff. Draymond got his first technical foul, and then they were like, well, we can't kick him out. Like,
can't do it.
That'd be too impactful on the game, so we're just going to let Draymond basically turn into a Tasmanian devil and just like whip himself up into a frenzy running people over on the court.
In fairness
boys will be boys.
to the NBA, obviously not the same officials, they did kick Draymond out of a game that handed the Cavs a title.
I don't know if you can say handed because they had to play Game 7 in Golden
They have
State.
to win 3 more games.
Right, but they don't win 3 more games if he plays Game 5.
You can't say handed though.
It was
I can't. The Warriors didn't score those last 5 minutes of Game 7. I can't say they handed it to the Cavs.
That's fair, but
I smell like some Steve. What's that?
They would have
Smell
won.
like some Nick Adams. It's like some Nick
I don't
Adams
like.
stuff.
I don't like that take at all.
It did change. It changed the series, no question. But I mean, Draymond was out there kicking guys in the balls. You gotta kick him out.
he was out there lead blocking last night.
It was
For
so
sure.
funny.
Listen, you're not going to hear me defend. What he did was, I mean, the reason I'm pretty comfortable, it worked. So credit to the Warriors, but that was their all. That was like desperation in Game 2. That if I'm Ime Udoka, I'm like thrilled. That was their best punch. It worked. It landed. It fucking rattled us, but we won't get rattled the next time they do that.
Coley, can I read you a tweet that you sent at 10:39 last night? Because you sound pretty encouraged right now.
Oh, yeah, about me not being happy with the split.
Not at all happy with a split. That was a very winnable game. Down 2 at halftime, came to the third quarter and didn't execute anything at all. Let them believe they belong in this series when they're nowhere as good.
Yeah.
But now you're happy with a split.
Now, I was chirping Celtics fans with that. A lot of my tweets are directed towards Celtics fans because every Celtics fan I saw in court, including our boss, Henry Lockwood, was like, that was awesome. So happy we split. Like, what are you talking about?
I can see that.
They sat all their starters in the 4th. Like, that's not something to be thrilled about.
That's
4-1.
fair.
I agree.
Quick back to hockey, Avery, that 2-0 lead that the Rangers had, that was one of the first times that it actually made sense to me that 2-0 is the most dangerous lead. Like, that was a prime example of that happening. Just like,
Well, yeah, I think in hockey, especially, home ice is so important. And it's not just like playing on your own ice, it's being in your own facility. It's, not having to take a bus to the rink. You can drive there. There's just all these different aspects of being home that makes it so much better for the players there that I think it just makes the whole difference when they're on the ice. And Tampa Bay, like, they weren't going to go down 3-0. They're on their home ice. They play their, 41 games a year plus playoffs. So it's just like it makes a completely different factor when you're at home, without a doubt.
So there's something looming on the horizon. We discussed this before the show started, but for the New York Rangers, and I am rooting for the Rangers. I want Avery to succeed.
You have a future on them,
I have
too.
a future on them. That's definitely. I'm only doing it though because I like you, not because of my future. Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
I think that we're about to see maybe the most hilarious New York sports storyline rear its ugly head, and that's the fact that if this series goes to 7, the 7th game for the Rangers coincides on the same night as a previously scheduled Justin Bieber concert in MSG.
Let's go.
At the Mecca. So it's one of the two's got to go. Some's got to give. I think the Bieber concert stays. I think they would move the Rangers game 7.
No shot.
You think they're going to kick Bieber out?
I think they came out and said the concert would be rescheduled.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, they did.
Without a doubt.
So
You think about Eastern
amazing.
Conference Finals, chance for the Rangers to go to the Cup. Trust me, I know ticket prices. The ticket price for that would soar. The cheapest ticket for that would probably double the cheapest ticket for a Bieber concert at the Garden.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
Without
at
a doubt.
least, at least.
At least.
What artists do they keep the concert on for?
Billy Joel.
No.
That's a
100%. Who has more
Billy.
banners, the Rangers or Billy Joel?
The Rangers.
That's a good point, but that's a
Billy Joel
mistake
only
on
has
MSG's
one banner
part.
there, but it's a big banner. It's much bigger
it's
than
the biggest. It's the biggest banner they got.
No, it's the longest banner. It's not
It's
like
the house he built Madison Square Garden.
Is he a Rangers fan or is he an Islanders fan?
I don't know what his story is with the
He's got to
hockey.
be an Islanders fan.
He's a Long Island guy.
He is a Long Island guy. I like Billy Joel, but he'd get out for that.
Y'all gonna be mad at me. I don't know who Billy Joel is.
Oh boy.
What?
God.
I heard the name, but I can't pin anything on it.
He's the DUI guy.
We didn't start the fire. Scenes from an Italian restaurant.
Uptown Girl.
You know Uptown Girl.
We didn't start the fire.
It's got to be sampled and
I didn't know he
Working
was.
too hard can give you a heart attack.
Billy,
You
don't play
oughta
this
know
song.
by now.
Okay, yeah.
That got sampled. I know that.
yeah,
one
I'm
got-
looking
Vienna?
for who's sampled.
No.
Captain Jack will get you high tonight.
Take you to.
We should do an episode on things Arian just doesn't know.
Actually, for the
White
science
people
fair,
things.
This is a big white people
This is
thing.
a big white people.
Billy Joel's probably the whitest artist. Yeah,
But
agreed.
I know a lot of white artists, and I have a whole Spotify playlist for soul, white soul.
White
Oh,
I promise I do. I'll send it to you on a group.
Oh, I believe you.
You 100% know Uptown Girl.
So
She's been living in her white bread world.
Hold on.
I've
I
heard
want to
that
guess
song.
who's
I've heard that
on.
song.
I want
I've
to
heard
guess who's on Arian's white team. Is Hall & Oates on there?
Ooh, okay. Oh, hold on. Let me put it up.
So I have a list of songs that sampled Billy Joel. The Shiznit by Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
The Foundation
Why do you think Arian would know that song, Billy?
by Zibbit. Jung Aus der City by Flair.
It sounds
I know.
like some massive hits.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, actually, for the science fair, we should have Glenny Balls explain Billy Joel to you.
Yes.
He is the biggest Billy Joel fan in the world.
Yeah, I think that should be the premise of the science fair. Like, it doesn't have to be like science projects. It has to be like passion projects that have like science involvement almost.
well, we're gonna get some signs.
Yeah, of course. I saw your face when I said that.
Billy
All
wants
right,
science.
Yeah.
y'all ready for the white soul?
Was
I
Hall &
actually don't
Oates
have.
correct?
It isn't. I should though. I should.
Sorry.
That's a great guess.
Arian, if you want to come in early, Billy Joel's at MSG this Friday.
I'm straight. But all right. So actually, these don't really have it. They isn't in order, but there's somebody named Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band.
Okay.
Her eyes are a blue million miles. It's a fire song. I don't know where I even heard that shit from. Bobby Caldwell. Come on now. MGMT.
Yeah, of course.
For one song, the Electric Fail. I haven't even dug into their catalog, but that shit one of the greatest songs of all
Do you
time.
have the Jim Jones remix of that too?
I'm straight off of that. I'm good. You know who actually did the best remix? It's a dude that was on the Sing Off, or I think it's what's the one where they turn the chairs around?
I know what you mean.
Whatever.
Daughtry?
No. It's a
The
reality show.
Voice. The Voice.
The Voice.
Oh,
The Voice.
oh.
There you go. There's a dude by the name of Preston Pohl. If you have, just look up Preston Pohl Electric Feel. He killed him on their own track. This shit is magnificent, dog. I promise you. I got Mayor Hawthorne, Green Eyed Love. That's fire. California Dreaming, the Mamas and the Papas.
Of course.
Hotel California, right? Fleetwood Mac, Dreams. Jump by the name of Dusty Springfield, Spooky. That's a fire song.
You got to
Benny
Paul
and the
Simon
Jets.
on here too.
I don't have Paul Simon. I
Wow.
don't have Paul Simon.
Who's the saxophone guy? Kenny
Kenny
G.
Is he white? I thought he was like,
He might be mixed. I don't know. He's got some curly hair.
yeah, he got something else in him. I don't know. Somebody fact check.
He's a big time pussy guy.
Huge.
Kenny G loves pussy. Loves pussy.
I'm positive there's context I'm missing here.
No, like he just no. There's
Describe 99% of
plain
men.
and simple. The man loves to work a pussy. He did an interview with the KFC radio guys, and they talked about eating puss. And Kenny G was like, "Yeah, I can hold my breath for like 90 seconds at a time."
And he's got impeccable finger work.
Yeah, and
facts.
a skilled tongue. Like that's his job, but the skill transfers over apparently.
Yeah.
All right. Let me round up this list. Casey and the Sunshine Band, Aerosmith.
Okay.
Wait, is Casey and the Sunshine Band, are they white?
Yeah, I think. Check that out, Billy. Pull it up,
Billy,
Jamie.
yeah. Fact check that, Jamie.
What's the guy's name?
Casey
and the Sunshine Band.
Casey and
I'm positive.
There are whites. This is a lot of harmony here.
I actually don't know. I just put him in there because I figured. I don't know.
It looks like the main singer is
the
white.
dude's the main singer is definitely white, but I didn't check the band.
Dude, you know who else? So Zach Brown band, not Zach Brown band. Dave Matthews band. Everyone's like, oh, that's the whitest band ever. Only Dave Matthews is white.
He's actually African American.
He is?
Yeah, he's like Steve Nash.
Like Elon.
Yeah, like Elon.
Yeah.
He's from South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's so
that was
different.
that was a funny tweet going around. Like a whole bunch of conservatives was like, finally in Africa, we can celebrate an African American being the CEO of a major company or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Dave Matthews band, like really, really talented musicians.
Yeah.
His band.
He's
All right,
the
we
best.
got
Wait, Dave
we got
Matthews?
Motley Crue.
Oh, nice.
Motley Crue. We got Journey. That's that shit. That Journey song. That will send a bar into a frenzy. Dog.
It will. So I was in Nashville this weekend, and there are like 5 songs that get played up and down Broadway because every bar's got a cover band, and they're all super talented musicians that play in these cover bands because they're all like Nashville studio musicians. And but there's only like 5 or 6 songs that they play. You walk down, you hear "Don't Stop Believing" like 10 times over the course of a given night.
It's a good song, man.
It is a great song. They've got bangers too. Journey's got "When the Lights Go Down in the City." That's a great song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
They've got "Any Way You Want It." That's the way you need it. Another great song.
That's Journey too. I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, great band.
I didn't know that either.
Bad national anthem.
I'm bugging with this one. I don't know why I got Santana in here. That was an
Certainly not
accident.
white.
That was an accident. That had to be an accident. That had to be,
Was it featuring Rob Thomas?
I got big thumbs. Nah,
Yeah, that's probably it.
And it's called Black Magic Woman. I'm tripping.
Yeah, that's certainly not.
I'm sure. I don't know why. That's definitely an accident. I got Steve Miller Band. That's fire. They fire. Eric Clapton, Ambrosia, and Stevie Nicks.
Hell yeah.
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan.
That's
Hey, John B.
He's a killer. No, this is more like old school, what I consider old school. You know what I mean? Like I don't kids nowadays will be like, man, Ludacris is old school. shut the fuck up talking about.
Did you guys see that Brooks Koepka had Ludacris perform live at his own wedding? That's pretty cool. Like Ludacris was his band.
Luda.
That's fire.
Snoop Dogg was at my
what
parents' wedding
prompted
reception.
that, though.
At your parents?
hmm
What?
Whoa.
What was
Like,
he doing there?
on purpose? Like on purpose?
No, not on purpose.
Oh, I was like,
It
He's
was
wandering around.
my parents got married the weekend of the NBA All-Star game, and it was in Cleveland that year. And they were staying at, like, all of the celebrities were staying at the same hotel that my parents' reception was at. Snoop Dogg, like, randomly walked in
You
and just
crash it,
crashed my parents' wedding reception.
hit the buffet,
Who
hit the
knows?
catering real quick.
Wedding
we
crashes.
we we should do Snoop Dogg episode because his it's a cliche tweet at this point, but he truly is just doing the side missions of life right now, like going to Maddie's wedding or Maddie's parents' wedding and stuff like that. Like if you told Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube really in 1992 that they would have the hearts of white America in 20 years time, they wouldn't have believed you. And white America also would not have believed you. It's truly one of the more shocking transformations I've ever witnessed.
Snoop's
Ice
collabs
Cube is insane. Like if you just like their resumes, it's impressive, dog. It's you forget that they were wanted. Like Ice Cube was like literally getting courted by the FBI on his shows.
He's a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, he was
dog,
like one of the most dangerous men in America, according to numerous law enforcement organizations.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, one of the best Snoop Dogg collabs. I think that's where it really got going.
Martha Stewart, she's also kind of like that. She's been doing a lot of side quests recently. Kevin Hart, he's on that too.
Kevin Hart was never viewed as
that's kind of like
danger to society.
Yeah, no, like
Right.
This is like I was talking about Snoop had a murder case, dog.
Right, yeah.
I was talking about Snoop had a murder case. Ice Cube, like high key, ushered in an entire new genre that is now the number one genre in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's Cube. You talking about Easy, Dr. Dre? He penned for everybody. That's his pen. That's Ice Cube. Like this new rap era is riding Cube. It's crazy.
Ice-T also kind of had a little transformation there.
Oh yeah.
Like Ice-T,
Absolutely.
he was a guy that was like, if they had anything on him, they were throwing it at him because the song that he had with what was that, Body Count? Cop Killer? Yeah, that was one where like they launched congressional investigations into Ice-T for this song, which you want to talk about like the best advertising you can get. If Congress investigates you as an artist, there's no better way to ensure that your next album's going platinum.
You know what we don't get anymore because of streaming? And I remember this, I think the last person I remember this with was Eminem. You don't get a bunch of angry white parents buying all the albums and then like smashing them in public anymore. Like you don't get that anymore.
Yeah, like having a big ass pile of CDs and tapes, and then they rent like a road grader to come out for the day and run it over in the street. I miss those days.
Yeah, parents just don't have the juice like that anymore.
Yo, speaking of albums, I've been listening to the new Zach Bryan album on repeat for like ever. Like if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Like, did you hear any of it in Nashville?
I've not. Well, I probably did hear some of it just in the street, but I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, dude.
Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan.
All these country singers have like two first names.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. Actually, it's probably not. Probably goes back. Garth Brooks. It goes back a long way. Randy Travis. The list goes on.
Did you go to the Johnny Cash Museum while you're there?
I did not go to the Johnny Cash Museum.
Damn, bro, missed out.
I did miss out on that. But Nashville,
how was
awesome town.
How was Martin's?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I went to Martin's. I went to Martin's on Friday. It was awesome. Great wings, awesome pork, awesome ribs, awesome brisket. It was delicious. And then I went to Monell's on Saturday, and that's one of the best meals that I've ever had in my life. I FaceTimed Arian at the meal because there was this dude that was sitting next to us because you get sat family style there. So they introduce you to strangers, you eat with strangers, you talk to them, and we started going back and forth with this older couple that was there with us and made friends with them. We're just talking about like Tennessee football, Tennessee basketball, Tennessee baseball, and we're asking him like what his favorite teams were going back, throughout the years. Obviously, he talked about the Peyton Manning years, and he talked about the Arian Foster years. And we're like, oh, you're a big Arian Foster fan. He's like, yeah, I love the dude. And so since Arian FaceTimed me when he ran into what he thought was a Barstool employee, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna FaceTime Arian again real quick. Maybe they know each other because he was a fan of Tennessee football when he played there. And so Arian said hi to him. The guy was like so excited to talk to him. He was like a little bit nervous when you got on the phone. He didn't know really what to say.
He was frozen. Like I was like, is he a fan? He's literally not saying or doing anything.
No, he was a fan. And then it turns out he got up and left before we were done eating. And then when we went up to pay our bill, that dude paid for our entire party's bill on the way out.
Oh, that's fire.
So it was awesome. Really cool guy. So now I got to pay that forward. But best meal. One of the best meals I've ever had in my life. If you like fried chicken, fried catfish, mac and cheese, corn pudding, that type of stuff. Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
hungry right now. I have
Yeah,
not eaten today.
I haven't
and you're
eaten
saying all
either.
this shit.
It was
This is
incredible.
fucked up.
It was
Fuck yeah,
incredible.
I'm about to make a matter of fact, I'm about to make a bad decision. Yeah. I'm gonna order some things.
I think we gotta take a halftime.
Big T, what'd you get into this weekend?
Went to a concert on Friday and then watched a ton of college baseball.
What concert?
What concert did you go to?
Tim McGraw, he was very good.
Do you dance at concerts?
Line dancing.
No, I sing like the songs. I'm not a dancer though.
You don't
Yeah,
do
that's
it?
what I was just like, I would
I'll
love to see.
stand.
'Cause, like,
I'll stand and sway a little bit, or like
That's all. I went to my ex dragged me to Eric Church at Barclays, and that was the deadest but most like interactive crowd I've ever seen. It was like people got into a trance state. They all just stood and sang, but there was no dancing, there was no anything. It was peculiar.
I've also been to a country concert at the Barclays Center. I walked in and our tickets were in the upper level. And they're like, so not enough people bought tickets, so the upper level's closed. So you walk over this table and they'll give you a better ticket. And we sat like
Pretty good.
right close. There was very few people there. But yeah, it was at Jones Beach, which for my money is obviously people who don't live in New York don't know this, but I love Jones Beach. It's probably the best place I've been to see a concert. Like the vibe is just very different than New York City. It's in Long Island.
Definitely.
Yep.
And like there were a lot of Let's Go Brandon tanks and things of that nature there. It was just a much better vibe for a Tim McGraw concert than if it had been at MSG.
Felt
Very
at
fun.
home.
Yeah.
I love Kenny Chesney's on tour again, and when he used to like stop by Pittsburgh every year for his annual concert, the aftermath would always be like hilarious disaster porn. Like the pictures of the parking lot after the Kenny Chesney concert every year in Pittsburgh, it looked like a tornado went through there, just like trash and shit everywhere. But he's back on tour. I saw Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy went to his concert in Dallas over the weekend. Looked like they had a great time.
Wow.
Mike McCarthy has one shirt, by the way, that he wears. If it's not like a team issued Dallas Cowboys polo shirt, if he's like on his own accord, he's got the giant, big, like striped collared shirt, the one that your parents got you from Kohl's when you were like 20 years old and you needed to go to like a church function. And it's like 3 sizes too big for him, but he wears it everywhere. And I absolutely love it.
Tim McGraw, by the way, you go to a concert and most artists will, after 2 or 3 songs, they'll like stop and talk or like tell a story about what this song that they wrote means to them, this, that, and the other. Tim McGraw does not do any of that shit. He starts singing and goes all the way through, and he just sings every song back to back, and then it's over. That's it. I kind of like
prefer
it.
that.
Yeah.
I prefer it.
He literally said at the beginning, he's like, if y'all have been to our shows before, we don't bullshit a whole lot. We just want to sing country music, and went all through, I don't know, 90 minutes, and then it was over. That was it.
Yeah, I guess that's okay. I like a little bit of back and forth, though.
I do too sometimes, but it was, just straight back to back to back to back, never stopped.
I like when the singer goes, anybody out there from New York City? And I'm like, woo! He knows me.
I am.
Yeah, that's me. He's talking about me. I love that shit.
The worst
I eat that
worst crowd interaction I've ever seen. Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake came to Fenway Park. And this was right after the bombing at the marathon. And they said, we're dedicating this song to you. And then they played Empire State of Mind, which is like the New York anthem song. I was furious. I almost charged the stage. I couldn't believe it. People went bananas. I've never been so insulted by my own people.
That's fucked up. Choose
what
any
song were
other
they supposed
song.
to play?
I don't even bring it up. Don't even bring it up. Just play your songs. Get out.
Shipping up to Boston?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah, Jay-Z's.
what? Jay-
Boston people are different, man. Y'all got issues, bro.
Listen, New York is our rival. You can't play their song as
I got
like,
problems, bro. Bro,
As
I was just lit watching the game 1, and I was just joking. I tweeted like a sweep with the little emoji eye. And you got motherfuckers coming at me like I told them they baby was ugly. I actually called babies ugly, and then
Which
people
you
don't even
have
get
said,
mad at me like that. You know what I'm saying? But like Boston fans, when you slightly attack them in the slightest about their city, they have issues, like real anger. I mean, even Cole's a real rational human being. As soon as I start talking about the Celtics, switch flips in his head. He's just mean, dog. He's just fucking mean.
I didn't say shit about the sweep tweet. I didn't say shit about you only chirping us when the Heat went up.
Why didn't you say anything? You're trying to hold back
because I knew it wasn't going to be. I knew you were wrong. What's the point in me being like, well, this is like, yeah, I know that. I move on.
Nah, somebody analyzed all our interactions on this pod. When I bring up the Celtics, your demeanor changes. It's funny.
When you bring up the Celtics, it's only to antagonize me.
Of course.
Yeah, so why wouldn't my demeanor change?
It's me, no. I mean, you talk about the Lakers. They didn't make this all good. It happens. You changed.
Yeah, the Lakers might as well be a New York team by extension. If New York had a basketball team, that's how I'd feel about the Lakers.
That's silly.
Whitey's behaving himself very well right now. I want to give Billy a compliment as a dog owner.
Thank you.
He's very tired. Billy, how was your weekend? I saw that you went up to a lacrosse camp, to a training camp. I saw that Jake just absolutely fucking sent a laser.
That's not true at all.
What do you mean it's not true?
I mean,
let's analyze that sentence. That's not true at all. I saw a video.
No, it's just like
Jake sending one.
There's so
top
much
cheddar.
It wasn't
right
top cheddar.
past you.
It was. I've never played goalie before. He aimed it off stick low, which is the hardest shot to save in lacrosse. And
so he's a great lacrosse player.
No, look, basically. There was so much footage. We went out to the PL.
He perfectly plays the ball.
We had a great time. I never played goalie. I don't really care.
No, yeah, I can tell.
Dude, I knew the only thing that people are posting from that weekend is just like this when I like fucked up at a sport that I hadn't played in 6 years.
Well, yeah, I also saw another video. I saw another video where you fired a shot, and I think the ball went backwards.
No, it just like when you are winding up to like we were doing shooting competition and stuff, but when you're winding up to like take shots like that and try to shoot super fast, like you're gonna crank the stick a lot, and sometimes the ball pops out.
It happens to all the best players.
It happens all the time.
But
I shot 100 miles per hour at the.
I shot 97.
Yeah, but I would have gotten 100 if I was allowed to shoot again.
That's funny, man.
See, in order to talk to Billy about anything, you have to be prepared with all the facts because he'll say stuff.
I basically shot 100 miles per
He'll
hour.
taffer you, and unless you have the receipts ready to go right off the bat.
Look at me. I basically shot 100 miles per hour.
Yeah. Then that's what you got to do, just start nodding.
Yeah, that's the taffer. Just look at someone and nod.
You basically shot 98 almost.
Dude, I would have hit 100 because I went from it wasn't even a good shot. If I'd aimed it closer to the radar, that's how you get faster times. But it was sick. I was pumped because like the last time I recorded my shot speed was I think like 8th grade and I shot like 86 miles per hour. So I was pumped to have improved.
And then you sent the Macrodosing group chat a little status update on your way back. You got pulled over.
Oh yeah, I did get pulled over. And
how fast were you going?
I was doing 72 and a 55, and the guy let me off.
Yeah,
but you know,
did he recommend that you start listening to podcasts instead of listening to music?
Yes, no, that was the OG. But there was tons of cops out on the road coming back from upstate. By the way, thank you so much to the PLL. We had a great time, field side seats. I don't think people understand how violent lacrosse really is unless you see it like up close. I don't think it translates through the television as I think it will because of how they're presenting it.
The cameras are so far away sometimes in lacrosse where you kind of don't see all the collisions.
But the PLL has been doing a really good job of taking new angles, new types of footage. Like they have people mic'd up on the field during the game, so you can actually like hear a lot more because like getting hit. I mean Memes. So Memes suited up. He was a pole. He played D2 lacrosse, and I played, in high school. So we did some one-on-ones, and I told Memes like I didn't put on shoulders, just elbows and gloves, and I said, Memes, if I like burn you and pass by you, you better not trail check me because I'm not wearing shoulders. And I burned him, and Memes just tomahawked me right in the shoulder. Like it was. I have a picture on my Twitter. It still hurts. I'm all messed up because I'd torch him and then I'd get by him and then he just hit me in the back as I was running away.
Good. I'm glad he did that.
No, but it was an awesome time. It was crazy because I was actually kind of starstruck because lots of the guys I watched when I was like in high school and middle school playing lacrosse are now all pros, and just like meeting them, like there's certain celebrities that sort of do make me freeze up, and it's like guys I grew up watching intensely. Arian, it was kind of hard for me at first to get comfortable with you just because like you study all this tape on these guys and then they're just like right in front of you and you're like, whoa.
Billy used to study all the tape on Arian. He would break
I used to
down,
watch your highlight tape.
He would break down your all 22.
No, but like you'd
also
watch
any
the
woman,
highlights.
any woman that comes in, Billy freezes up around.
No, like I remember the first
Study
time
tape on women.
the first time Arian came into the office, I literally said, "Yo, what's up? I'm Billy," and Arian was just like, "We have a podcast." You remember that?
Yeah, bro.
I know. Dude, it's just like so meeting some of these guys like Sergio Perkovic, like Rob Pennell, like Miles Jones. These guys, like I modeled my game after Sergio Perkovic, and like meeting him in like person was insane.
Oh, hold on. You just made it seem like you've never picked up a lacrosse stick before, and that's why your shooting wasn't that great. And
I
now
hadn't
you've
shot. I hadn't
played it your whole life, and you have posters of these guys on your wall.
I mean,
still.
I played in high school. I didn't. I hadn't played lacrosse or picked up a stick in 6 years.
One thing I've realized that makes me not like lacrosse, just at a surface level, is when you're watching them play on TV, and I was like watching Billy do his little shots and stuff. The amount of unnecessary stick twirling just as you're like walking around, it's distracting. Like there can't be a purpose for all that when you're like doing all those cradles and you're just walking around. You're just doing that because it looks sweet.
No, it's centripetal force.
Yeah.
It's keeping the ball on the stick for possession.
But you're just doing it like you're not sprinting around anywhere. You're just getting ready to shoot a shot.
Yeah, because you're like cranking your hands. Like it's like I don't know. It would be kind of like in like boxing, like you're always moving your hands. It's kind of like just staying like because if your hands are just static, it's like what do you do with your hands?
Yeah. Well, there's too much of the twirling. It's too flashy of a sport, I think.
No, it was insane being field level and seeing some of these guys get decked and just the clanging of the sticks on like and hearing like a metal stick hit someone's flesh and that sound is, I mean, that up close, it was insane. It's basically just tribal like hand-to-hand combat with like weapons in the modern times. The only legal way like you could have like people fighting with sticks.
Jousting.
Yeah, but jousting isn't even technically legal. Do you know that all jousting is not like it's not competitive, it's all performative? Like the jousting done today? Like if you go to King so you can't like do real jousting.
I'm sure you can find a real jousting.
No, but you would die. People used to die in jousting all the time.
It's probably for good reasons. You can't joust for real.
Yeah, but you can play lacrosse.
People do not die.
I see your point.
You know, overseas in different countries, field hockey is like their equivalent of lacrosse.
Yeah.
Like it's a very masculine
Hurling.
sport. Yeah, hurling.
Yeah.
Hurling is
They're
very similar.
hurling. Sorry,
Yeah.
hurling.
Yeah, but like if you go over to Europe, I think like Spain and countries like that, they take field hockey very seriously. Like it's a violent sport over there. There's no pads. You get like whacked in the shins and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's blood and stuff.
Yep. All right. Well, it sounds
I got a hot traffic take because you said you got pulled over. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. All stop signs should be yield signs if you have exemplary driving.
But how do you know the other guy has a yield sign, not a stop sign?
So it's not for anybody else. It's for people who actually know how to drive, right? And so you get like a sticker or some shit on your license plate, hands down. We ain't done yet, fam. You get like a sticker.
No,
on your
I'm
license
just
plate.
making sure I'm trying to build off your take, so I'm ready for when you're done.
Got you. You next. All right. So you get like a sticker or there's some kind of indicator on your license or your license plate that says you have earned the right to roll through a stop sign because you understand that yield and stop are pretty much the same things as long as you're aware. But there are people out there who don't know that and will absolutely cause chaos. But I feel like all yields should be stop signs to people that earn it.
That sounds like a gateway for me for the government to be handing out stickers to people they deem as exemplary.
Social
Yeah,
credit
that's
score.
Yeah, exactly.
How is it a social
So,
credit
me,
score?
Miami.
That is it's a gateway drug.
That's insane.
It's actually just giving more freedom
To a select group of people.
to people who have proven themselves
Yeah.
capable.
That's a license in the first place. You don't get a license when you turn 16.
Yeah, no, a driver's license is a social credit score for not being a completely shitty driver.
Bam.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of shit like that. There's a whole bunch of shit like that.
So if you vote a
like
certain way, you get to use stop signs like yield signs.
No, bro. This has strictly to do with driving.
I know.
Getting silly.
I get what you're saying,
silly.
but okay, hypothetically, Arian, what
to build-
happens? What happens if two exemplary drivers pull up to an intersection and they both have stop signs they think are yield signs?
Then you treat it like a stop sign. Whoever was there first goes first. And people that know how to drive understand this shit. I'll have faith in this world when I'm at a 4-way stop sign and everybody's just not looking at each other stupid. I'll have
Is
faith
it
in
worth going to the DMV and sitting there for a day for you to get that sticker?
Oh yeah, for me it is. Oh yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
To build off this point, which I think is an excellent point, to take it a step further, 60 to 75% of people with licenses should have them taken away.
I agree.
And that clears up the problem. Most people, because even PFT just said it perfectly, most people have licenses not because they're good drivers, they just weren't bad enough to fail. That's not a high enough standard for me.
Yeah.
We don't have to retake those tests ever again. Ever again. You just have a license forever. As long as you renew it on your birthday every, 7-8 years, you just get to keep that. Terrible idea. There shouldn't be as many people on the road as there are right now.
I agree, actually.
Yeah, my mom is a terrible driver. She's always been a bad driver. And I'm always like, how is this possible that she's allowed to drive?
I don't know your mom. I was just saying my mom is too. I was like, yeah, your mom is a bad driver.
Yeah.
My mom's terrified. She's terrified.
Yeah, my mom's shit.
We can't have these people on the road.
Yeah, she hates like when she has to drive by herself in a city she doesn't know. I'm like, there's lines.
Yeah, you know what?
Let's go and stay in the line.
If you're able to have children, and that's probably the common denominator, you shouldn't be able to drive.
If you're able to have
Wait,
children,
what?
you shouldn't be able to drive. Go on.
That was a joke.
Oh, I see.
He said, go on.
Go on. If you're a mom, you shouldn't be able to drive.
Or able to become a mom one day.
I also think
If you have, Billy's saying if you have a vagina, you should not be able to drive.
No, that was a bad joke. Sorry.
That wasn't bad. It was misogynistic.
No, men can have vaginas.
Yeah,
Please don't be hateful.
men can have vaginas.
Good point.
Here we go. Here we go.
Anyway,
Actually, I would love to get in that discussion with Big T one of these days. I don't know. It could be a whole topic or whatever, because that issue is actually fascinating to me, which I'm not as left on that as you probably think I am.
No,
But
yeah,
it would be-
we've talked about it once before, I think, and you
Not like in depth.
right, yeah, but you it was clear that you were not towing the party line necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. Like, I do what the fuck ever you want to do. But like, anyway, well, I remember we should just do that episode on that. But I had one more. iPhone just came out and said Apple just came out and said iMessage. They're going to possibly add an edit to texts and an unsend to texts.
Ooh.
oh no.
Now my take on that is that's probably the worst idea Apple's ever had. Like, there's so many there's like text messages are now like court documents.
That's what I was thinking
so,
also.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bad idea because like people do wild shit and like you can't have that. Like, I mean, I hate to bring this up, but it's like Young Thug just got, he probably going under. He probably gonna be in there for a long time. One of the things that got him was one of the murders that they committed as a group.
Allegedly.
He was in a group chat. He was like, if anybody talks about it, you know what I'm saying, you getting it next. And it's like, I hate it for him. But it's like shit like that. Like, shit is plotted through text messages all the time. Not just murder. It could be like adultery, people getting caught cheating, like all that shit. Like, this is a bad idea altogether.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like there would be like a feature that they could show like in court that was the edit history of a text, I'm sure, because they still have that data.
Yeah, I mean,
Even
like
if you unsend
if
it.
you
That's
delete
true.
a text off your
That's
phone.
On Instagram, I know it has, because you can unsend messages on Instagram. I know it keeps like a message was sent, you just can't see it anymore. So I assume like Verizon or AT&T, whoever would have a log of what was actually sent.
I mean, someone who like a gaslighter would have a field day with these features. Like, oh, I didn't
that's
say
what
that.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
What
like-
I'm saying. and then the screenshots don't even mean nothing. It's just like, oh, you doctored my screenshot. And it's like, nah, man, it's just a bad idea, dog. It's a bad idea.
Can you give me an update on what's happening in the Young Thug trial? Like, because I haven't followed it.
No.
I just know.
I haven't either. That's my homeboy from Atlanta. Like, and he deep in that scene, and he was just telling me a couple of things that had happened. Like, I just become extremely uninterested when we talk about.
He hasn't had a trial yet. He just got arrested.
Yeah, but it looks bad, the case, because they're putting RICO on him.
So RICO. Anytime you have a RICO on you, that means like not only do they have evidence going back like some years.
Which he said in a song, "They're gonna hit me with a RICO."
I think that was Meek Mill.
I thought it was him.
More than one person's used the word RICO in a rap song.
I haven't heard that song from Thug, but that's a well-known term. In
I do find it interesting. It was last year him and Gunna started bailing out people in Atlanta who couldn't afford their own bail, and then these charges came about. I find that interesting.
Huh. I wonder if
they was in the streets though. They was doing it.
Oh, yeah, listen, no one's been more in the streets, and I'm not. Any officers listening, this is inadmissible in the court of law. Thug was he was no saint. There's not going to be a picture of him jet skiing with his family when they lock him up. They're not going to have that one.
It was like. If you start doing the thing where you're bailing random people out of jail, you also are putting yourself out there for like getting hit with a charge like this, where you bail somebody out and then.
I think he was only doing nonviolent drug offenders, if I remember correctly, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, it just opens everything up, and somebody sends you a text message, describes it in the wrong way, or like, hey, can you help bail this person out? And then they tie like two strings together. And you see, oh, well, that person is related to this person who is an associate of Young Thugs. And then they're like, okay, well, now we've got an entire new charge that we're going to put on it if that person gets rearrested or if he like jumps bail or something like that.
RICO seems like absolute bullshit. You get one person, like if you get one person guilty, they all go down. Like that seems to be my very amateur understanding.
No, I mean, but like RICO was a huge step in taking down like major organized crime in the United States.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at the history of organized crime in the United States before and after like RICO was legalized and then like implemented, I mean, I think it definitely changed the United States for the better.
The crime's gone down, you're saying?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know what the stats on crime
I think
but
crime is.
But they did lock up the mafia for
trending.
that. I know it was basically invented to take down the mafia. That I understand. I'm not really buying certain types of crime have gone down. I think it's just kind of shifted. Criminals are always ahead of the law.
I feel like crime, like that's one of those stats that like, certain news organizations will tell you crime is up. I mean, will show you more crime, but it's not proportionate to like the statistics and the
that I
numbers.
agree with. I agree with.
That applies. But that applies to a lot of narratives that are pushed, like showing videos.
Talk to him, Billy.
Of crime.
Yeah.
No, but like
we are on the same page.
Right, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying.
But that applies to tons of different things. I mean, if you play any video over and over to people, it will make like an upsetting video. It will make them unhappy, no matter how much the statistics show you that crime is getting better. There's not 1,000%. As much, but like that also applies to stuff like, like for example, I mean, like if you look at the statistics on police shootings and police shooting people, that is actually decreased in the past 10 years. Right. But if you see the videos over and over, it's gonna cause like a definite feeling. But that's the same way with like, your grandma who watches Fox News and thinks that, New York is a hellhole where people are just getting pushed in the subway station.
You're right, but I think the difference is a criminal organization is being marketed as the entire city is like should be on on the lookout because this crime is exploding, right? That has damaging effects, to stereotypes of certain demographics, right? Whereas in comparison with police shootings is like one is too much because that's a state sanctioned execution. It's on execution. It's murder. Like it's from the state, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's those. I understand the parallels you're drawing, but they're two very vast different things.
Yeah, Big T, can you explain?
But I agree with you though.
No, but
about
what
the
I'm saying,
because it's propaganda.
Yeah,
I
that's what
agree
I'm
with
saying.
you.
Like the thing is, if you could change the whole narrative of, you know, like what's going on, and if you just, like, for example, played, you know, the body cam footage of a cop getting shot, if you played that as much as like you saw the George Floyd killing, you'd see a much different reaction from America. And it's almost like
well, see, I see. So this is the difference. Like this, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. This is
I'm not
different.
saying, by the way, I'm not condoning what happened.
No.
all.
I didn't think that. Though. I didn't think that. But what I'm saying, I think the difference is like the heightened media presence around like police shootings, right, has gotten to the point where it has affected officers legislatively to where they have to wear body cams now, right? Which I think is, and I would think anybody thinks is a good thing. Matter of fact, I have a shirt that says "Always film the police," right? It's like somehow a controversial statement, but I was at the airport going to, I don't know where I was going, and some dude comes up to me, goes, "Hey man, I don't like your shirt, man." I was like, "Okay," and he goes, "What do you mean by that?" And I was like, "Always film the police." I don't like. What do you mean? What do I mean by that? He's like, "I just don't like. What are you saying? Are you saying the police are criminals?" I said, "Some of them are." And he's like, I mean, I would agree with that. It's like, what do you try? He just kept on like pushing. I'm like, you don't think that we should have accountability for any government official if they do something wrong? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, always film them. Like this is not controversial. They film themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like my stepfather worked in the forensics lab. He was like, we film ourselves all the time. But that's the kind of thing that I think is different, and where like those parallels do get drawn in a lot of these conversations, where it's like the propaganda for this is not equal to the propaganda of that, because the propaganda for crime infestation, if you will, is leads to shit like when New York did stop and frisk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which has detrimental effects to certain demographics.
Exactly. But for example, like something that has increased in the past 5 years, has been officers being shot in the line of duty. Like that has increased. But I mean, I'm not making it that type. I mean, this is what I told the police officer who pulled me over today when I was getting my ticket.
You get into long.
No, I'm
you
joking.
did an episode of Macrodosing with him.
I'm joking.
I want a shirt that says "Always film Billy talking to you," because that's what we need on video.
No, I mean, I'm gonna be if I get pulled over, I go full, you know, thin blue line, like
you flash them and everything.
Yeah. No. I mean, I am pretty, you know, I definitely flexed all the privileges to try to get out of the ticket.
Did you cry?
All the privileges.
Did you cry?
No, I don't think that would be the right narrative for me.
You've got a special card.
I got a couple cards. I know a couple guys. But like, for example, if you were on if you said, oh, the amount of officers killed in the line of duty has increased in the past years, these are the videos of them, and kept pushing that, you'd probably see
I agree. If you see those videos, it creates that same visceral reaction that you get. Like, for example, the Ray Rice video, when you saw that, everyone was like, what the fuck? You know, as you should be, because it was like exceptionally violent thing that he did. But if there's somebody that's got like 5 charges and none of them are on film, you don't have that same level of like almost anger that you get from watching that. Now I'm going to push back a little bit on one of Billy's stats, which is the officers that are dying in the line of duty. They've increased in the last 2 years, but it's because police officers have been disproportionately killed by COVID at work over the last couple of years.
But that's not the killed in the line of duty.
Yeah, no, I've seen the stats. They add that if you get it while you're on the job. They've like police officers.
About 80% of them. It's a large amount.
Yeah. Cops have had it's been tough for anybody that's public facing. So police officers and retail workers are like the two occupations that have had the most deaths, I think.
Okay. So
I'm not sure because Billy, I don't think that was a claim Billy made originally. Billy said,
Billy.
And that might be up to
shot. I don't know that's off that, but PFT is correct in saying that they have that is the number one cop killer in America right now is COVID.
Yeah. So really quickly, this is from CNN.com by Emma Tucker and I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. Intentional killings of law enforcement officers reached 20-year high, FBI says. Last year saw the highest number of law enforcement officers who were intentionally killed in the line of duty, which I do not think counts COVID, unless COVID is in. Anyway.
I would agree with that.
An increase that in the line of duty since the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. Now, I know people can be like, oh, you're, bootlicker, Blue Lives Matter. And I totally understand that in any group of populace, be it, like police officers, there are like bad people who are going to end up in these George Floyd situations and do these bad things. But I mean, like the narrative, conspiracy theory. I think
the stat you just gave was 3 years before assault rifles became re-legalized.
This is from January 13th, 2022.
No, when you were reading, it said since September 11th.
Right.
So 3 years before assault rifles became re-legalized by George W. Bush.
I think they might have taken that selection of dates because they didn't include 9/11 because so many police officers passed away in that attack.
Yeah, no, I get it, but also if that's since they've been up from and the one gun that keeps them hiding outside of schools because they don't have anything to match it feels noteworthy.
That's gonna get worse before it gets better, I think.
I see.
It certainly hasn't been great since. There were 8 this weekend. Is that the number I saw?
8 what?
Mass shootings.
Okay, but what type of mass shootings?
The good ones, Billy.
Like
I think he's talking about assault rifle ones.
Yeah, but like the thing is like that makes it sound like 8 schools were shot up.
No, it didn't. It said mass shootings. I didn't say anything about schools.
Mass shootings is defined by what, 3 or more people being shot.
3 or more people. So I mean,
that one was there was one in Philadelphia that looked just scary as hell.
Yeah, that one didn't sound great. None of them sound great.
None of them sound great.
And I see that, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think like that, like this shit. Of course, it's gonna get politicized in a way that's skewed towards your side of the aisle. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's propagandized. I think this is just people having an honest discourse about guns in America. I don't say honest, but they're having a discourse about guns in America, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's going to have to continue to get talked about because if you look, and the only reason why I say this is because, like, it's like we said when we were talking about the school shooting, like there's nothing I can do to convince conservatives that there's a gun issue in America. Like they think that God bestowed upon them guns, and so like there's just nothing you can say. And so but when you look at the global data, like obviously gun deaths are a problem here, and so you have 2 different ways to go about it. Some say we need to get rid of guns or at least highly regulate them, and other people say 100%. we need to flood the streets with more guns.
There's such
the doors, Arian. What don't you get about the doors?
There was a hospital shooting the other day, so it's like,
yeah,
you gonna arm nurses and shit now too, bro? Like everybody just walking around strapped.
How many doors are in a hospital? A lot of doors.
No, but
there may be one way and one out of this hospital.
A door control problem.
But something that pisses me off about those like issues like gun control and abortion, that they're so polarized and there's such easy common sense down the middle answers to those.
There is nothing.
Well, for example,
easy or common sense about this conversation, my nigga.
No, but for example, guns, right? Okay,
Billy, you solve it right now.
We're not going to take away anyone's guns, but we're going to we're going to regulate who can get guns and do all the things like that you should do, and maybe have social media checks for these people. And you can still buy a gun, and people who are well intentioned with guns will get their guns, and people who are ill intentions won't get their new guns. But the thing is, there's too many guns out in the country, to stop illegal acquisitions of guns. So you might as well let everyone keep their guns who are well intentioned with them.
Yeah. So I saw a guy that was in the streets of Nashville over the weekend. He had a shirt that said, it was an AR-15 on the front. It said, "This is a tool," and then on the back of it, it said, "I am the weapon," which I thought was a pretty aggressive shirt to be wearing.
That's a wild way to say guns don't kill people.
But he's saying like, I will kill you.
I am a weapon.
But like, I think if I were to talk to that guy, and I didn't want to talk to him, obviously, because he's probably a bad hang. But the point is, I actually don't have a problem with that guy being just a real asshole about his guns. Like, he's probably a responsible gun owner. Like, somebody that takes their gun culture like that far, that like loves guns and will risk like going out in public and like getting into numerous verbal altercations because he's ready to say like how responsible he is as a gun owner. That guy probably will never kill anybody with his gun. And
that guy's weirdly not the problem. I agree.
at all. At all.
He's just a big gun fan.
Yeah, but you gotta be like, listen, man, I don't want you to give up your guns. I want like the dickhead that's not responsible to not be able to get it in the first place. And and I don't want somebody able to get mad and then go buy a fucking high-powered rifle with a giant magazine and then use that because they're angry. You know, like that's what I want to stop.
Yeah. But
I was walking my dogs the other day, and I was thinking of the old Chris Rock bit where he said, "It's not the guns that are the problem; it's the bullets. Make the bullets super expensive, and you'd have people shooting people and then going back to get their bullet and like, clean it off and reuse it." But I was thinking about that. What if? And I know this is never going to happen, but like I haven't fleshed out the idea fully. But if you just completely if you said, yeah, we're not taking your guns, every gun, it's like grandfathered in. If you have a gun, it's yours. We're not selling any more bullets. Would shootings go down? Because you'd really have to be sure about using those bullets if you knew you had a limited.
They get them from Mexico and Russia.
Maybe. I mean, they have no problem. I saw today they stopped 3 Molly pills or ecstasy pills from getting back into the United States. So those Border Patrol agents are on their shit, William.
Yeah.
Wait, did they do the picture of it where they spread it out on the table?
They had a vial of like 4 mushroom stems, 1 chocolate bar that had psilocybin, and 3 ecstasy pills. And they took they spread it all out. They took the picture.
I love those pictures.
Well, you know what's funny about the whole
street value $3.4 million.
Did they pop a fucking teenager dog? Like what the fuck?
It was two people just like having a time in the wilderness.
Yeah, just like
fucking bottom.
Was this
we're
the
gonna have a
Canadian
good
border?
night.
It was Willie
Yeah,
Nelson's
exactly.
tour
It
bus.
was one night's worth of drugs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Jesus.
The funny going back to gun people, but the funniest thing about those types of gun people, they're literally just buying accessories and shit for their gun. Like if they could, they'd buy like little outfits for their guns. Like gun people and dog people are kind of similar because when they're really into it, they're like buying all sorts of accessories for, their stuff. And that's like, it's a hobby for them just like to spend their money on.
I mean, the pictures that have come out of people just like laying out all their guns in their various like very sad rooms. It's been very funny. Like I can't,
do you see the
I
one
can't
with
condone these people having a hobby if this is what they're doing.
Do you see the one with the family and they have them laid
the
out
kid
on
on
their
the
deck?
bike? Yeah.
They have them laid out on their deck and on the roof.
Oh,
yeah.
The deck one was ridiculous.
That was
I gotta
insane.
see. Can you guys find that?
I gotta
see.
find it.
Send it to the group chat because this guy, it was in Austin, Texas, and it was a guy, his wife, and then his kids, and he probably had, I'm gonna guess, like 215 guns that he laid out, and the dude is like, it said in the tweet how old he was. I think it said he was 44 years old, and I swear to God, I thought this guy was like 78. just a strange looking family.
Actually, this reminds me. This is like there was I saw this on Reddit the other day. There was a time that a bunch of Army Rangers, one of them bought a house in a neighborhood, and I want to say Washington, and in the neighborhood there was a bunch of gang activity and like Crips. The Crips street gang was there, and literally, I'm reading it from that time Army Rangers got into a gunfight with the Crips street gang. Basically, they threatened this Army Ranger to like get out of the neighborhood. So he called all of his Army Ranger buddies and they like sent like their families away and they just freaking Alamo'd the house he bought to try to help the neighborhood. And they got into a huge gunfight with all of like the gang and like gentrified the neighborhood the most like gun way ever.
They just shot up the neighborhood.
No, they
Did anybody
sat
die?
in their house. Yeah, there was a bunch of according at the time they said that no one was shot, but basically all the gang members drove a state over but there was like 15 gunshot wounds and deaths. The state, like the 2 counties over.
Oh, they didn't take him to the
They didn't
local
take him to
hospital.
the local hospital because they didn't want to get caught. But it's one of the, if you have time, it's one of the Sergeant Bill Falk when he purchased a cheap house in a rough Tacoma neighborhood as an investment in 1989. So like he just straight up was like, we gotta like, oh, there's like this neighborhood, it's got very crime ridden. Let's just piss off the gang members and then have them try to fight us, and me and all my Army Ranger buddies.
That seems like a Clint Eastwood movie
I know.
waiting to happen.
Can I?
That's fact.
Doesn't it? Like this is like Gran Torino on steroids.
That should be. Someone make a movie about that because that sounds insane.
Can I make an observation about this photograph?
Uh-huh.
This family is in what, no offense, looks like a pretty cheap house.
Correct.
That house might not cost six figures, if we're being honest.
Oh my god.
There is.
It may not be a house. You might be able to drive it.
That's fair. There's $150,000 worth of firearms laid out on that deck.
At least.
Maybe more
I
than
think it's
200.
more because some of those scopes
I mean,
are
yeah,
expensive.
there's probably, it's more than 150. There's probably 150 guns there. Half of them are rifles that cost well over $1,000. There's maybe 300 grand worth of guns sitting there.
I'll tell you that smoker's got some
the grill they
mileage.
found on the side of the road, that was not a grill they purchased.
That's
Grill
a-
is trash.
that's
Your
a-
The
girl-
worst-
That's
your,
a
your
smoker.
girl is way too big for training wheels, my G.
The worst part about the one that you sent, Coley, is it's cut off at the roof. There's more guns on the roof in the original
No,
picture. I gotta find.
no.
I'll send that.
Little kid in a red shirt cuffed his jeans. There's a whole bunch of squares in this
Dude.
photo, bro.
Look at the
Fuck
full
outta here.
picture. I just sent the full picture.
The thing is,
So to stage
He's
this
way
picture,
older than her. She with him for some bread. That's
Not enough guns to throw the roof into it. I thought the roof was.
Oh my
That's
God.
like 8 more
oh,
guns.
but on the roof is
I'm
all
sorry.
shotguns.
It's just funny.
It is funny, and it's a weird looking roof.
Yeah, but like, yes.
when it rains, it sounds crazy in there.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's all metal.
I mean, the funniest part is, I think somebody had to get on the roof to stage that picture. They were just like handing guns up to the roof to put them on there. That's a lot of guns.
I mean, this picture is literally the tweet like, someone please help me budget my money. My kids are dying. I'm spending $1,200 a month on my mortgage, $500 on food, 37 grand a month in guns.
I mean,
And the kid's shirt just says Texas never backs down.
Amen.
Amen.
There's no way he shot all of those guns.
Maybe.
No, he
I
definitely.
mean,
does.
Bill Burr has a great bit about guys who love guns, and it's like, have you ever shot him without fucking headphones on, pussy? Like that says a lot about. Like, if you only go to the range, fine, but if that's all you're really doing, do you need the gun? They have guns there, do they not?
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I shot an AR-15 at a shooting range. It's a lot of fun. I gotta be honest. Like, it's a fun
I'm
activity.
sure.
Dude, have
It's
you
a
ever-
very fun
I mean-
activity. But it's scary how accurate that shit is.
Have you seen Atlanta?
No.
There's a scene, I think it's in the first or second season, where one of them goes to a shooting range, and everyone's there. They're like, he's black, and everyone else there is white, and they're all just shooting the human targets. And he brings his own target, and it's a dog. And he hangs it up, and everyone he's dead eyeing this dog right in between the eyes, and everyone puts their guns down. They're like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" He's like, "It's just my target. I brought it from home." They're like, "You can't do that here." He's like, "You guys are shooting humans. Why is this any worse?"
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, the thing about this argument that makes it so tough is there's the mass shootings that are terrible and should never happen. But then there's also stories like the woman in West Virginia who was carrying her weapon. She was legally carrying, and a man, I think his name was Dennis Butler, went up to a graduation party with an AR-15 and she stopped him. A kid's graduation party, and she stopped him. So it's just like, and you hear stories about people with illegal guns walking into people's homes and people having the right to carry and having weapons in their houses and defending their family. So it's really tough.
I mean,
It
I
is.
heard about the judge over the weekend who got kidnapped and killed by someone she put away. He had been away twice, and he was still able to purchase a gun in Wisconsin because they don't do background checks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
he had a hit list that also had the governor of Michigan on it. Like, that was, and he was part of a militia.
Oh, yeah.
Militias.
oh
The
yeah,
governor of
I know
Michigan,
that.
she's been targeted by a bunch of militias recently.
Yeah, should she be president? Like, she's got a lot of people mad at her to the point where I think she just might. I don't know
Well,
anything about her other than people want her dead.
Dude, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, I hear, is filled with dudes.
It's its own country, as far as I'm
anarchists.
concerned. They're their own people, the Upers.
Yeah. Actually, we have some listeners in the Upper Peninsula. I remember one
Oh,
time we
yeah.
talked about Upers on here, and they reached out and they're like, "What's up?" And they'll agree that like it's a it's a bunch of weirdos that live up there for the most.
Yeah, and they keep to themselves for the most part. Like I have no qualms with the Yoopers. Like they truly live their own life. But like I think we need to have a couple what's it called when like a city loses its cityhood?
They get like unincorporated?
Yeah, we need more unincorporated areas where people can just go be. Like you don't get the government, you clearly don't want it. Like we just clear out one of the Dakotas. We can give them like an Arizona, something like that. Because you can't just assume they all want to be cold. Some of them want to be warm. So let's be fair. They can have a Virginia, West Virginia, one of these. And it's like, all right, you've got these 3 areas where there's just no more laws. Like you just live there. You keep to yourselves. We'll keep to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to get roads, and we're not going to pay for your schools.
No, they can do it though.
They're
They
going
can
to
figure it out.
privatize it.
But you guys do it.
You're going to privatize it.
Yeah, the Upper Peninsula. That's like Goalie. That's a lot like Maine, I would imagine. It's like the Maine of the Midwest.
Maine's, I would say it is probably pretty Michigan-like in the sense that there's 2 Maines. Like we're saying, there's the Upper Peninsula, and then there's like the Detroit metro area. Anything north of Portland is chaos.
I have some
Absolutely. Like you don't know what's going on. Anything west, not on the coast, chaos. From Portland down, it's just Boston. Like it's truly the same.
What's the cranberry situation up there?
That's New Hampshire.
I don't think it's New Hampshire, is it? Because you have to have water.
Massachusetts is pretty cranberry heavy. I feel like Maine's more blueberry than cranberry.
Yeah. I think that's New Hampshire you're thinking of. Oh, I think Ocean Spray's. Wait, let me check.
Ocean Spray's for sure Rhode Island.
They're grown in bogs. That's
yes,
all I know.
But, yeah, they are. They're big bog fruit.
We don't discuss bogs enough.
We don't. Bogs, fjords. We don't discuss all the big water basins.
Oh yeah.
Like I used to read about bogs a lot back when you were doing like medieval studies. There were just bogs everywhere in Scotland.
So there was New Hampshire doesn't have any commercial cranberry bogs left, but back in the late 19th century, they were going heavy on the cranberry bogs.
And then somebody stole them.
Yeah.
The bogs moved.
Farmers harvested cranberries from bogs in Auburn, Manchester, and Berlin, according to the Cow Hampshire blog.
Now, what's the difference between a bog and a swamp?
I think that's
Isn't a bog man-made?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Okay, this is.
I think bogs have mist. I think they get misty.
Also in my head, swamps
can have a.
swamps are dirtier.
Swamps are muddier.
Yeah, murky.
Bog versus swamp.
Okay, so bogs are characterized by peats, leftovers of dead plant material, whereas swamps are forested wetlands which are near large lakes and rivers. I think the big one is trees.
Okay.
I think trees are involved. Marshes, on the other hand, have the same water source but have softer, non-woody plants.
Swamps are low wetlands. Bogs are generally higher than the surrounding land. That's weird.
Whoa.
Swamps get water from rivers or streams and have some drainage. Bogs receive water from precipitation and have no outflow. So that's why it could exist in New Hampshire, because they get water from rain and snow. Swamps are formed by the collection of river or stream water. Bogs are formed either by terrestrialization or plodification. Interesting. This is just a good website that I found right here. Difference between
bogs.com.
Difference between .net. So you can look up like what's the difference between a bunch of other stuff.
What were you talking about before? Was it mountains and hills that we found out didn't have? That's what it was?
Yeah, I think we determined that if you die on a hill, it becomes a mountain. If somebody has died there.
That's our rule, though.
That's
right?
our rule, yeah.
Nice.
It's a good rule.
The difference between the Jeep Wrangler and the Ford Bronco. This is just a great website.
That is a great website.
So Bunker Hill should be Bunker Mountain?
Yeah. Bunker Mountain sounds cool.
I'll let the people know.
Yep.
Bunker Mountain
You just
Day.
mentioned the Bronco.
The Ford Bronco?
Yeah, mine's coming in a couple weeks.
So how long were you on the list for that?
3 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, like the production, obviously COVID all happened and cars took forever.
Well, they started that list like a year and a half before they were set to go to market anyways.
Yeah, so 2019, I reserved it. And then I was supposed to get it in 2020. And then the colors that I wanted weren't in. And the
What
roof.
did you get?
You didn't,
I got like a dark blue. And
okay. I was looking at them.
And the dark blue went out, and then
You didn't get the Sport, right? You got the regular one?
no, I got the legit like Ford
Good.
Bronco, like the
2
big
or
one.
4?
4-door, had to go 4-door.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. You're a young guy. You might go 2.
No. The two doors like the old school look, which is really cool. I've always been a 4-door guy, but they had issues with the roofs. The roofs were leaking. They had to send them all back. So
Did you go hard top or soft?
hard top.
I like that.
Yep. So I'll have it in a couple weeks. We'll be able to take it down to Jersey Shore.
Actually,
whole crew.
I'd love
Doors off.
Hell yeah. I'd love to see how you like it because my lease on my truck's running out soon.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's been a long time waiting, but
So when I was looking at trucks, I was looking at the Jeep Gladiator, the Jeep truck.
yep.
You can't fit in that thing. It like really sucks for tall people.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Have you-
I'm not a huge fan of the look of it. Like the cab in the back is like really extended.
Yeah, it just looks like a Jeep with someone like haphazardly
That's a big. I wish I was in the military, but I'm too afraid to automobile.
Yeah, exactly.
Right up Billy's alley.
Yeah, dude, I saw some of the old school Hummers coming back electric.
Yeah, they got the Hummer EV or whatever. It's like it's like $100,000, but
Geez.
It is. I've been looking at the
But Joe Biden told me to get one.
Wagoneer. The Grand Wagoneer looks fire.
that is a nice car. I saw one all black the other day. It's sweet.
I don't love the back of it, but the insides are crazy.
I gotta check that out. The Grand Wagoneer. Oh,
yeah,
whoa,
those are 100K.
Holy fuck.
It's big
They're
boy.
sick though.
What's the name of that Jeep? The is it like the Trackhawk?
Yes, that's the crazy one.
It's the Grand Cherokee, but it's the highest. They're stopping making them because I think they're way too dangerous.
Yeah, they're like unsafe. They're
they
so
put a
powerful.
Hellcat engine in a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
So it's
Holy
it's like the dumbest car ever. Like who in their right mind wants a Jeep Grand Cherokee in the first place? But
Hold on, all right, let's calm down.
It's a nice car.
I don't like the Jeep Grand Cherokees.
Oh, the Trackhawk
It's
is
a
the Trackhawk is a
sensible
beautiful
SUV.
car.
I agree. So I kind of want the Trackhawk.
Yeah.
Like when I get back into the car owning business after I move out of New York City, I feel like the Trackhawk is
My buddy
that might
has
be my
one.
little treat for myself.
My favorite videos that go viral every once in a while are someone with like a souped up muscle car racing for pink slips with a Trackhawk and losing 100% of the time. Like they're so dangerously
Oh, I have a good
fast.
one. I have a good one. I'll send it to you. The sound of the Trackhawk, it's like the signature like whine that the supercharger makes. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's an insane car.
if you watch those races, they always remind me of like the Uncle Drew videos where Kevin Love shows up to a playground and he's like dressed like an old man, and these people are like, all right, we're gonna fuck this guy up, and then he gets out there and just starts raining threes on him. Like that's what happens when the Trackhawk pulls up. Everyone's like, oh, this car's about to get smoked, and then it goes 0 to 60 in like 1.4 seconds.
You have to drive it at either 2,500 or 5,000 miles before it even unleashes that level of engine. They're like, we need to make sure you know how to just drive this thing normally before it will allow you to go as fast as it can.
Wait, they built that in?
Yeah, it's got a regulator.
It's got a separate key that so it has like a regular set of keys. Then it won't be Trackhawk. And then it's like a red key. It's like, this is the Trackhawk key. And if you put that in the car, that's when the engine's like, oh, it's fucking go time.
Are you guys fucking with me?
No,
Because I'm gullible, or is this true?
That's Hellcats too. That's like
Holy
the
shit.
Challenger and the Charger Hellcats too. They get the same because it's the same car. I drive a Grand Cherokee PFT because it's a sensible family SUV.
I was gonna say
sorry.
I drove a Grand Cherokee for like 5 years. I loved it.
The problem is they break down a lot, and then they're very expensive to fix, I think.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know
They're
what car-
American.
Yes.
You know what car?
Well, I think you're thinking of Ford.
No, I think Jeeps break
No,
down
Jeeps
a lot.
break down a lot. Yeah.
I know they used to. They kind of one company with Dodge now, and I've always had Dodge. They're always super reliable, which is why I went with Jeep. I think Wranglers, since they have so many moving parts,
I think it's
probably
the
break
Wranglers that
more.
break down a lot.
Yeah, Wranglers I could see breaking a lot. I've had 2, and they've both been great.
I love my Grand Cherokee.
But yeah, I want to get a Trackhawk. If anybody out there is an employee of Jeep and wants to send me a free Trackhawk, we'll do a great video.
Free $98,000 car. Yeah.
I'll live stream the first 1,500 miles as I'm driving around until I get to the place where it unlocks its true potential. And then I'll just go around the country taking other people's cars from them.
It's my
Those
favorite.
Those should
car
be
of all
illegal in
time.
New York City for sure. You
Oh,
should
yeah.
not have a Trackhawk in New York City.
It's too much power for one car.
So you know what was my first car, which is sort of I kind of really love it. The Jeep Renegade. I had a Jeep Renegade. It's a funny looking car. I had a green Jeep, like a terrible, disgusting green.
It's like a Scion XB, pretty much.
Oh, that's an awful car, Billy.
No, but it was the best car ever. It would literally.
PFT, pull up the brake lights on that. They're X's.
Oh yeah.
Every white boy in America had a Jeep Renegade in like 2016ish.
Seriously, I was the only one who had it. I had a camo green Jeep Renegade,
Yeah.
and we called it the Bullfrog, and it was the best car ever.
It does look like a frog.
Yeah,
That's why you like it so much.
And it was only 2-wheel drive. It was front wheel drive, but it was my favorite car ever. I mean, it just had so much character.
It's such an ugly looking car.
I know, but it got us through so much stuff.
I was a minivan guy myself. Always have been.
Sick.
Yeah, if you ever see a Jeep pull up next to you and it has yellow calipers, just don't even consider it.
Look the other way.
It looks almost identical. It's a little bit wider and it has a different grille, but everything's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Right. It's very unassuming that it's the fastest car on the road.
Yeah.
They're horrifying.
They are horrifying. They're all-wheel drive supercars. They don't spin.
Yeah, they shouldn't. I'm glad they're stopping production. Like I believe in freedom and all that, but I also don't believe most people should have a license. So those should not exist.
That video I sent is so funny.
Isn't the Lotus banned in America?
707 horsepower on the Trackhawk.
So-
707.
Why is that legal, but Lotuses aren't?
I don't know that that's necessarily true.
I think there's a model of the
There might
Lotus
be a
Elise.
model.
The Lotus LSA.
I think the Lotus isn't because of its crash safety. Like
It's not. It doesn't pass its own emissions test.
Yeah, it's just not a safe car. What's that thing you sent, Arian? What's a Rezvani?
Yeah, so I don't know shit about cars. So I'm just listening to y'all talk about cars. Like I literally don't know shit about cars. But this came across because I need because I have a Tesla, but I also need something that's like reliable to drive, like cross country and shit like that. Because my mom's live in San Antonio, so I make that trip a lot. So I ended up just renting like a Navigator. This fucking thing. So I was looking up like really nice, reliable cars, and so like I always go to the high end shit. This car probably like $500,000, but
Holy fuck.
it's like insane, dog. Like it's like bulletproof windows and doors.
Lord.
It's crazy. It's like crazy. It's just a really high quality SUV that I will be looking into getting.
I'm looking at them right now.
This thing's insane.
They make
Yeah,
a
they're-
6x6 too. That's insane.
And I'm not even I'm not into cars at all. I'm just looking at like reliable vehicles. Like, and this shit looks. I don't know shit about it. Could be not reliable. It just looks. It looks crazy. Like it looks.
This looks
very,
like what was the Toyota that looked exactly like this? Fuck.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Not the 4Runner.
No, the 4Runner. I love the 4Runner, but it's not that.
I heard it's it's a Toyota. I know exactly the one. And
Highlander?
No, it kind of looks like
No.
boxy. It kind of almost looks like a Jeep, right?
It looks exactly like this car. I just can't remember the name of it. Here we go.
Toyota Jeep thing. The
Toyota
Land
Jeep.
Cruiser.
The Land Cruiser. No, it's not the Land Cruiser. That's what's coming up, but that's not what it is.
Wait, this truck has 1,300 horsepower? What?
I don't even know what that means.
FJ Cruiser. The FJ.
Oh,
Cruiser.
yeah. Those are weird cars.
Oh
They
yeah.
were, but they're sick, and they kind of look like this. But these look tougher.
To put that in perspective, Aaron, we're talking about the Trackhawk. This has double the horsepower. This thing that you sent us.
That can't be. That's insane.
So did you buy
Yeah, I
that or
thought this
lease
is-
that? Arian?
I don't even know if they're out. I just came across it. And so when because I'm renovating my house, I got too much going on right now. So like when everything settles down, I'm gonna look into buying one of these.
Now, from a financial standpoint, would you buy that or lease that?
But
You'd buy it?
Mhm.
Huh.
What are you thinking, Billy? What are you want to lease?
No, I'm just like trying
You want to
to.
lease a Trackhawk?
I'm trying to be like smart.
trying to go splitsies on a Trackhawk lease?
Yeah,
You and Mintz should.
dude.
Mintz driving around the South in a Trackhawk. It'd be efficient. He'd be able to grow the game faster.
Yeah, I think it would be worth expensing to the company.
Getting town to town, yeah.
Dude, Mintz is the man. I haven't seen him in a long time. Hopefully he's back.
It's growing the game.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we're talking about cars. I haven't spoken to PFT since the choke job heard around the world. Are you doing okay?
Are you talking about the experts?
I am.
I'm fine. I haven't thought about it since it happened.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring it up then.
Is this a spoiler?
I'm fine. No. It
it's
came out.
aired.
Okay.
It aired last week. It was bad. It was a bad ending. I mean, what do you want me to say? We
Are
choked.
you guys considering rebranding?
Okay. The biggest canard that Jeff D. Lowe has ever pulled in a long line of canards is by letting people think that the experts named ourselves. Like, yes, that would be a very douchey name to name your team in a trivia competition, especially when everybody else has cool names like Big Screaming Honkers and Billy on the Troops. But no, we did not name her. Jeff gave us that name, and then we had to stick with it. So yes, it looks bad when a team called the Experts blows a 12-7 lead in the last 4 rounds of the Dozen Championship. Now,
Hey, yo, what's a canard?
like a ruse,
Wow.
a joke,
Who's going to pull that one out of the
Priest.
shenanigan.
Caprice.
I was.
It's an elegant way to say bullshit.
Yeah, I wasn't up on that term. I like learning the words. I appreciate it.
But I'm very angry with Jeff D. Lowe for naming us the Experts. Now he wrote a great championship match because Jeff loves his storylines, and this one delivered. And
Okay.
no, I'm just saying he did a great job writing the championship match.
Blaming the refs. Interesting.
He did a great job. Great job. You couldn't have scripted it better, Coley.
All
For the
right. I mean, you
ratings.
guys needed a phone a friend to ask about Montrezl Harrell. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, right off the bat. I don't regret doing that, by the way. We were in a position to win. If we had not said Kristen Wiig and said Maya Rudolph instead for the one question about MacGruber, which then they got the question about the newsroom, which, I mean, you want to talk about a movie that's unbelievable, or a TV show.
You got, what's it called?
Oh, The Leftovers.
Yeah, you got The Leftovers. I thought that was tough.
But Jeff Daniels, I'm sure that Brandon Walker has like a secret Jeff Daniels tattoo.
Probably.
Like that's right up his. There's never been an actor more up another man's alley than Jeff Daniels is up Brandon Walker's. And then so there was that. There was the overtime was not good. My Singapore guess in retrospect was a bad guess, but when you're under the bright lights and the clock's ticking, like my strategy was it's probably the most densely populated country in the world. Let's hope that the population is high enough, which it was nowhere close to being high enough. And somebody was like, why didn't you guess China? And yeah, in retrospect, probably should have guessed China. But the question's also by population density. China's a very big country. So we could have taken a flyer on that. India would have been the better guess, which I regret not saying India.
Overtime's always tough. Even the bonus round's tough, and it's easier to do when you're sitting on your couch reading the chat and typing in answers than when you're actually standing there under duress. It's much harder than it looks.
And congratulations to Team Uptown Balls. They did a great job. Honestly, we beat the Frankettes in the semifinals. That, to me, that was our Super Bowl. I said it going into that match. I was like, this is the one that I've had circled. I've won another crack at Frank and the Frankettes. If we can beat them, then that's better than a championship for me, you know? It's like the Miracle on Ice. If the U.S. had choked in the finals, they still would have beaten the USSR in the semifinals. So for us, that's
Sweden?
I think it was Finland, maybe?
Finland? It's the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much the same country. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm not doing great, but whatever.
It was tough. I mean, when you guys added Fran, you played the Honkers in your first match. I remember some Miami Heat LeBron era parallels being drawn by the Experts. So it's just a shame. That's all.
It's a real shame. The bad part is, like, everybody in the office was rooting against us, not because they were rooting against me or Fran, but everybody in the office was rooting against us. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's a tough time to be chirping Brandon, but he wouldn't want us to not chirp him either. He parades around and says it's his show, and you guys won that regional holiday tournament, and he pretended like that was a real trophy. He knew in his heart that wasn't a real trophy. He wanted this. He wanted it bad, and he choked.
Yeah, he went outside and he stood on the balcony for 30 minutes, not saying a word. And Rudy said that he was afraid that Brandon was going to jump. which would have been the most hilarious suicide attempt of all time because we're on the second floor here. He would have just like broken a leg.
Yeah, I didn't text him. I'm a credit to me. I didn't text him. I've waited. It's been like 3 weeks since I haven't chirped you since. I'm a great competitor. People are saying it.
The shitty thing is, as we were taping it, like you can't talk about it obviously for 2 weeks or so after it's taped because they have to edit it. Jeff D. Lowe has to make sure the script played out the way that he envisioned it, and so you can't talk about it. And after that finals match, it was like, this next 2 weeks I'm in purgatory. It absolutely sucks. Like I'm dead. Everyone doesn't know that I'm dead, but I'm about to die. I'm already dead. They're going to realize that I'm dead in 2 weeks. And even in the matches where we were just, we were kind of dialed in against Frank and the Frankettes, one of the great performances of all time by any competitive standards. And so I couldn't even enjoy that because I knew it was coming. So I couldn't be a cocky dickhead.
Let me ask you this. If we had beat the Frankettes, if certain people hadn't handed them answers, if we had beaten the Frankettes and we had then beat you like we typically do you think Jeff would have scripted it differently?
No, he wanted Uptown Balls to win.
Interesting. So you think he would have taken down the defending champs?
Well, let me ask you this. Like, who does Jeff D. Lowe spend his summers with?
Interesting.
Glenny Balls. It's his roommate, okay? He has to deal with that for the entire summer.
Do you think Glenny remembers he won the dozen?
No. Not at all. He was in shock. He was like, I can't believe this is actually happening. So
he was dialed in. Listen, when you run into a dialed in Balls, there's not much you can do.
Credit to them. They did a really good job. They took advantage of what they had to do in the finals. I actually don't mind losing to Uptown Balls because I like the guys.
It does make it easier.
Makes it a little bit easier. If we had lost to you in the finals, then that would have been a problem. But yeah, certain people, Mintz, gave away certain answers. That's fine.
Yeah, you guys want Arian. So PFT's team gets to write their own schedule for the regular season.
Not true.
That's true. Brandon writes his own schedule.
Not true.
We beat them in the playoffs last year. We beat them 4 times in a row in the regular season. They didn't schedule us once this year intentionally. That's how afraid they were.
Who's on your squad?
It's me, the guy who came in earlier and was talking about college baseball off camera, and Robbie Fox.
And this is like sports trivia?
It's everything. I'd say it's like half sports, half mystery bag. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's like pop culture, sports, a little bit of geography, a little bit of history. Mostly like TV, film, sports. I'd say those are like the big 3 categories.
This the dozens jump?
Yeah.
We're going to get you on a team.
On? I'm saying, what can I get on?
There will be a macrodosing team. It should be Arian, Big T, and then either Avery or Mad Dog.
My baseball buddy. Let's get it.
Look, I think I could add a lot of celebrity mashup help, pop culture.
If there's any like white pop culture, dog.
Yeah, she'd be better than me.
I'm telling you.
Almost exclusively white pop culture.
I'm all
That would
over
be
it.
a pretty solid squad. You've got football covered.
Yeah.
I've got baseball.
I have
Madeline,
pop culture.
Pop culture.
It's kind of the same setup as the experts.
Basketball.
And you're a little
Black
bit older
Yeah.
than we are, so you've got a little bit further back.
Yeah.
I feel like Arian's good with history, like PFT is.
should make it happen.
Science is really my bag. I'm down. How do we do? I gotta be there, right? Can't be remote.
No, you
it's
can be
remote.
remote.
There's a tournament once
Oh.
a year, and so you'll fly in for the tournament, but all the games are done remotely.
Let's do it.
Oh my god, I would die.
All right, it's on.
Oh,
It's
then
on.
Let's not do it.
No, die of happiness. I want to be on the dozen
Again.
so bad.
It does not seem worth it.
I always tell PFT whenever he's on, if you ever need a phone a friend, I'm always here.
You know what I always say, guys? The closest thing that we have in this country to time travel is a good night's sleep. You close your
That's
eyes
right.
and you wake up the next day feeling refreshed, transported through time and space to your very comfortable bed. And it's only super comfortable if you're sleeping on a Helix Sleep mattress. I know you guys like Helix Sleep. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way that you sleep. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete. It matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. They've got mattresses that are great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. I'm a hot sleeper. I love the Helix Sleep mattress that cools you off. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattress is great for cooling you down. Like I said about the soft, medium, and firm, I'm more of a firm mattress guy. I changed my mattress. It changed my life. Don't have back pain anymore in the morning because I'm sleeping on a mattress that's better for my body. I took the Helix Sleep quiz. I was maxed with the firm model, and it changed my life. So if you're looking for a mattress, you take the quiz, you order the mattress that you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free, and you don't ever need to go to a mattress store again. That's always a funny thing when you go to a mattress store and you like get on the bed and you like simulate the way that you sleep in front of a stranger, in front of like a mattress salesman. And you start to get like into the position that you sleep in. You're like, this is a little bit intimate for me right now with this person watching me. You don't have to do that with Helix Sleep. Just go to helixsleep.com/dose, take the 2-minute sleep quiz, and they will match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. That's helixsleep.com/dose. They're going to give you up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/dose. That's helixsleep.com/dose. Up to $200 off, and you get 2 free pillows. Not 1, but 2 free pillows. So time travel. Let's get into it. Billy put together a comprehensive sheet, according to Billy. I don't know exactly what elements of time travel you guys wanted to discuss. I had a couple instances of potential time travel that have occurred on planet Earth that we can talk about, and Arian can tell us whether or not they're cap, because a lot of people are saying they're cap, but I don't know. There are a couple that might be legit.
Tell you right now, it's cap.
You don't think anyone's ever time traveled before?
I do not think anybody's ever time traveled before.
Do you think anybody ever will?
No.
Wow.
You think it's
Hey guys, next week.
Hater alert.
You think it's like possible,
Ain't no
though,
time
right?
No. In order to travel through time, yeah, theoretically it's possible.
Yeah.
But you'd have to exceed a few laws of physics. Like, for example, to exceed the speed of light. It's theoretically possible, but it's impossible. I mean, it's theoretically possible, but it's impossible because you would have to have an infinite amount of energy source in order to exceed the speed of light, which would be traveling back in time if you're going faster than light.
What about this? I think I just came up with an idea about how to time travel, and I solved your problem about the infinite energy source, Arian. What if you think about it this way? What if there was a way to use light like wind, like a sailboat uses wind, where you reach out and you capture light that's traveling at the speed of light, and you use the light to drag you?
But you still be going slower than light.
Yeah, I mean, how you gonna do that?
I don't know, but I'm an ideas guy.
Ride the lightning.
I like what you're saying. I'm in on this.
I was thinking about it. I think it's easier to time travel than it would be to stop time. You know what I'm saying?
That's an all-time debate right there.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it because hypothetically you could
No pun intended. That was a bad. I didn't even realize it was a pun till after I said it. But yeah, okay, go on.
So like if you were to go through a black hole, come out on another part of space and time, and be at a different time than you traveled from, and traverse space time, that is objectively easier than stopping time. Like for example, like in the movie.
What do you mean by stopping time? That is,
like
how would you even stop time?
What's that movie with Click, the remote?
Click.
Yeah, is it called Click?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he just like pauses time and everyone freezes and he can just run around and do whatever he wants. Like I think that would be harder than traveling through time.
Yeah, because it's not time is not a. I think a lot of times, like you hear the people say this shit like in parties and shit, right? Or like I don't know, like sometimes you're like, man, time is it's a social construct. It's a man-made it's not. It's
Those are the parties I go to.
Yeah. turn the fuck up. No,
It sounds like you've been hanging out with Kyrie. Like that's.
I went once. I don't know where I was. I don't know where I was in LA actually, and dude was like, "Yeah, you know what I'm saying." But time is just a social construct, and I was like sitting in the back. I was like, "But it isn't though." He's like, "Yeah, we made it up." I'm like, "No, it's like a thing that actually bends and moves." And I had to explain the whole shit to him. But like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times we think of time because of how we experience it as we're just traversing through it.
Imagine you're just extremely fucked up, just trying to rant about time, and you've got Arian Foster pulling you to the side to give you a lecture on how time is real.
That's right. And the crazier part, we had a physicist that was at the party with us. And so as I'm explaining all this shit, I was like, "Ain't you a fucking physicist?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Tell him." He was like, "You're right." He was fucked up too, though.
Like you can make the argument that days of the week and seconds and how we measure time, that's social construct. But
the measurement of time is probably invented.
It's closer because like there are objective ways to measure. Like we know that a year, if you count the seconds and minutes that all add up to a year, that just means that it's a way of measuring that the planet is back in the same spot that it was the last time, the most recent time. Relative.
Not the same spot, but like in the same spot relative to the sun.
Yeah.
So
right. But not even because that's not even exact because like we have things like leap year. And so like, it's the best that we have, right? That we have come up with, but it's still very inaccurate.
Isn't it like a fourth of a day? Isn't it like a real year's 364 and a fourth?
Yeah.
5 and a fourth.
Saying a dude that's like time is a social contract, that sounds like something Billy would say to justify why he's late again. Like get real philosophical with it. When you think about it, is anyone really on time?
Time's a flat circle.
Yo, why are you so late? I feel like the last like 5-6 episodes, like you've been like, why are you been late so much?
Dude, I mean, been working.
I mean, how many podcasts are you on, bro?
No, it's actually the exact opposite of been working. It's you were doing something besides work this morning that made you late for work.
Yeah, no, but that's different. But I don't know. I've been traveling a lot for work, so that's why I've been out and about.
That is true. Billy's been doing traveling. He went out to Vegas, and then he had a weekend thing that he had to do up in New York. So
yeah,
that part is legit. But
and then I was in like the Poconos.
We can agree that time is not a social construct right off the bat. Now, Arian thinks that we'll never be able to time travel, but I've already proved him wrong with my theory.
Oh, you want to hear?
I'm gonna tweet that at Neil Tyson.
But Billy debunked that. If you're getting dragged by something, right, you're not moving faster than it. Especially when you're talking about with something as fast as the speed of light, right? Yeah. Because, like, let's say you go 99.9% speed of light. Let's say you're going that fast. From your perspective, the speed of light is still as fast as it is if I was just standing still.
What is light? It's photons?
It's photons and it's a wave. It's both. This is what we was talking about, the double slit experiment with those photons. Yeah, it's a duality. It's a wave. It has wave properties and it's also a particle.
Huh. So if you were like riding a photon.
Yeah.
That's actually how Einstein figured out special relativity, not general. But he imagined him riding a beam of light, and what would happen if you were riding a beam of light? Well, photons don't experience time. Time is stopped to them. So as soon as they are alive, they die because time does not traverse for them. And so if you're riding a beam of light, there's crazy implications. Like let's say you're riding a beam of light, you wouldn't even be able to see yourself. Because, like, say you had a mirror, the light has reflection and it goes back to your eye. Like, you wouldn't even be able to see that.
Oh,
that's crazy.
What would slow light look like? Like, if you were like dragging a photon and trying to.
What would what?
If you were to slow down light. So you know how like when you go to a baseball game?
We've done that. Yeah.
And you sit in the stands, and then the batter hits the ball, and then a second later you hear the crack of the bat. Like, what if you got hit with the ball before you even saw the batter hit a home run? That's what Billy's saying. Yeah.
Oh, so let's go to the Wikipedia. Slow light is the propagation of an optical pulse or other modulation of an optical carrier at a very low group velocity.
Now, what if you were to slow down like all the light, then would that be theoretically possible to time travel if you're slowing down all the other light in the universe?
Oh, dude, this hurts my brain.
How would you ideas guy? Tell me how you slow down all the light.
I don't know. I'm coming at it from all the different angles that maybe
not what the ideas guy does. He throws out the idea. It's on someone else to prove it.
Yeah, well, it turns out that the idea that I just brought up 5 minutes ago, that was Einstein's special theory of relativity. So I think that's a pretty fucking good idea that I had.
I got a better idea. You know how you slow down the light?
Wait, you have a better idea than Einstein?
Yeah. You get the photons drunk, then they move slower. Yeah.
You get them really cold. You freeze time. There you go. Because shit slows down, right? Particles slow down when they get colder.
But it's they slow down relative to like to the observer, but they're still moving at the speed of light through that medium, right? It's because light has to travel through a medium.
So light's cheating, is what you're saying.
Light's cheating.
That's what I'm hearing. They're changing they're moving the goalposts.
It's not fast all the time.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I'm just saying, like, it seems to me like everyone's focused on, trying to move as fast as the speed of light. Why don't we just take it into our hands to slow light down and make it easier to catch up? I don't know. Just asking the questions. Yeah. Big T, do you think that it's possible to ever time travel?
No, because no.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically, like Arian said, if you could travel faster than the speed of light, but even if you could, you'd be technically traveling through time, right? But you couldn't like end up in 1776 and like do something.
Yeah, so I guess we're talking about time traveling forward versus time traveling backward.
Yeah, like Arian, do you think so? If you could go faster than the speed of light, do you think you could like end up somewhere past or future and like hang out?
Well, this is what so when they all right, so it's really complicated, right? And I'm not an expert on this, but this is my understanding is yes, technically you can. Like, let's say they have something called the twin paradox. I think I've explained this before on this podcast, but like the twin paradox is me and PFT was twins, was born at the same time, right? Roughly the same time, but we age the same. We're both astronauts, so at the age of 30, we both decided to go. Or I'm sorry, he's not an astronaut. I am. I decided to go on a spacecraft, and I move at 99.9% the speed of light, right? And I just go to, let's say, Mars and back or whatever. I don't know. And I don't know the exact mathematics on it, but because I was moving so fast, time actually slows down. The way I experience time slows down for me, meaning, but to me, it's just regular. It's just as if I was to go on about my day, my thoughts are the same, whatever the case may be. My heartbeat is the same to me. But to everybody else, if they were observing me, right, they would see me moving in slow motion. They would see my heart moving in slow motion, like all that stuff. So by the time I came back, depending on how fast I was going and by how long I was moving, I would have aged slower than my twin, PFT. So like, it like I said, depending on how long and where you were going, you could age like 10, 20 years when he was just chilling on Earth. So that's technically time traveling, right? And so the question I always have for physicists, and which Brian Cox actually alluded to, which was true, was that something happens in that time, like things are happening, right? But so me and his now are no longer aligning, right? So we used to share the same now. We lived in the same place, but his now is now 20 years in the making, right? 20 years in the future. And my now is still where I was, right? Are you following me?
Yeah.
Yep.
So everything that has happened before and has happened, that's going to happen is happening. And that's the scary part of the universe. And so technically, yes, it's possible, but we obviously have not found out a way how to do that. But I don't think we'll be able to. I think there's a lot of things that we don't know about the universe that we'll figure out that I don't think we'll be able to do it. I don't see how.
One theory I heard about time travel is that since the Earth and the universe and the solar system is constantly moving through space, so like, for example, the sun is technically moving. Anyone who has
not technically, it's moving.
Yeah, but like when the traditional sort of when you think of the solar system, you just think that it like the sun's in one place and everything's rotating around it. When really it's like spinning and falling, like in like a twirl of sorts. So
it's also in orbit.
yeah, and it's orbiting the center of the universe.
Galaxy.
Is it galaxy?
Orbiting, the Milky Way.
Yeah. So something I heard that if you were possibly able to time travel, you would travel to a time when the place you were was actually very much different, a totally different place in the universe. So if I were to transport 1,000 years ago from here, like from this chair, 1,000 years ago in this exact point in space at 1,000 years ago would probably be just dead open space because the Earth would have been way far away. So if you were able to time travel, you'd also have to calculate to where the Earth would be at that time. So you need to calculate space into the equation.
Yeah, like if you tried to go back in time to kill baby Hitler,
Yeah.
and you showed up at that one space and time, it's just as likely you would like be there to assassinate Pete Rose or somebody else that was like an infant around that time, as it would be like you can't say like I'm gonna go back in time and end up in this one spot on Earth,
Right.
because that spot that you're at, even given like the orbiting of the planet, you're right. Probably more likely that you'd be in outer space.
Yeah,
but you
just
could
dead
also end
space.
up in like Greenland.
That would be pretty decent.
That would be a great like,
yeah.
like a nice shot.
if we're talking
hit the
like,
rim.
GeoGuessr.
Yeah, GeoGuessr.
If we're doing GeoGuessr on the space and you end up in Greenland, that's 99.99. You broke the all-time high score.
Yeah, and speaking of baby Hitler, so the Novikov self-consistency principle, this was part of my sheet. There's a idea that even if you did kill baby Hitler, the current state of events would still come to be, and it had calculated you killing baby Hitler and then realizing that that baby wasn't actually the Hitler we know that it grew up to be.
There's a different. They have an unlimited supply of baby Hitlers.
Yeah, or that baby was actually innocent and it was always calculated that you'd kill that baby. And Hitler was then an adopted baby who the mother was so, Mrs. Hitler was so upset that her baby was killed that she just
God's
replaced
plan?
it with another. Just
God's
replaced
plan?
it with another baby and called it Adolf. And that was the Hitler.
Damn.
Has anyone heard Mick Kaplan's baby Hitler time travel joke?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
He says he believes time travel is real, but weaponry doesn't work. So you can bring back a gun, it will fire, it just can't kill. So his joke is a lot of Jews just kept going back in time to try and kill baby Hitler unsuccessfully. And Hitler was just like, man, oh man, did these people got a problem with me? I'll show them.
Oh, wow.
God.
I believe he's Jewish, so it's okay. But it's very funny. Very funny.
Somebody else made the
man.
joke of like you travel back in time and you just shoot a baby in the head and everybody's like, what the fuck? It's okay. No, that baby was going to be Hitler.
And they're like, who?
Yeah.
Trust.
It's cool.
Jeez.
It's cool, guys.
Hey,
What are you doing? Oh, you have no idea.
People act like the Avengers movie is this like safe PG movie. They make the baby Hitler joke in their biggest movie. Like I give them a lot of credit for that. A lot of people, they were like, why don't we go back and kill baby Thanos? That's what they're talking about.
Oh, kill baby Thanos. But
That's an incredible way to work it in. Like they brought the baby Hitler joke to the biggest movie of all time.
Because the Nazis are in the Marvel universe, right? Or no, they're not, but they're...
No,
Yeah.
I think they are. Yeah, they are.
Were they
Hydra.
Wonder Woman? Yeah. They replaced it with those...
Right?
Yeah.
The boy
Hydra.
Stan Lee was extremely socially conscious.
In
Oh,
the,
yeah.
In the guy with the red skull guy. So if
Hydra.
if they were to mention Hitler, that would mean that Hitler would exist in that movie, and like that messed up my whole idea of, I don't know how he'd factor in.
I've seen a lot of tweets recently, especially with The Boys just coming out on Amazon for season 3. Not an ad. I've seen a lot of people being like, man, comic books have gotten so political. Like Superman was created as a counter to the Nazis. Like, what do we mean become political?
The whole
That's the-
joke, like when you look at Stan Lee, like, and I wasn't really hip to this growing up. You just hear about the jump, but like my stepdad was like super a nerd with this shit, and so like he still has all his comics, and he'll pull them out. Like, check this out. And so like he was telling us like even these new, like you see all these cats who are mad like Thor's about to be a woman, and She-Hulk, right? Mm-hmm. And so people that don't know comics, the history of comics, they're like, oh, come on, here we go with this. That's what happened though. That's exactly like that's what happened. Like Black Panther, like that whole thing was in the middle of the civil rights movement where he thought like Black people needed like better representation. Storm, all of that shit. Like Stan Lee was a visionary. Like he was super socially conscious. He was the first. Might say he was the first woke white guy.
There was there's a interesting story about time slips. Have you guys ever heard about time slips?
No.
So now Arian's probably going to say this is bullshit, but the idea that you can momentarily, accidentally travel into the future and then travel back and not even realize what's happening to you. So
does that explain deja vu?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of similar to deja vu, but there's a story and you can read about it in a book called Flight Towards Reality. And it's a story of the Drem Air Force Base in Scotland, in Edinburgh, Scotland. So I'm going to read from this website. It's Mysteries of Universe, Sir Victor Goddard's Time Slip Adventure. Sir Victor Goddard was flying to Edinburgh from Andover, England, and while on this perfectly ordinary flight, he passed over a dilapidated airfield in Drem, Scotland. So this is 1935 that he's taken off, and he's flying in a biplane. You know, the biplanes are the ones that are... Billy, do you know what a biplane is? You don't know that much about aircraft, so... Can you explain to me what a biplane is, or do I have to...
It's the planes with the two wings that are stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, when you
like
see
the
some...
World War I planes.
World War I planes, first-generation fighters, first gen.
And Billy just said, fuck you in his head. I saw his face.
Name one World War I fighter biplane.
You name one.
You name one.
You name one.
I'm asking the question.
You name one.
You don't even know the one classic?
I don't know the name of the... They had Rolls-Royce engines.
Name one then.
You name it.
Dude, just name it.
You don't know it either.
You don't... I know it.
No, you don't. I'm telling you, I do not know the name
Grumman 55.
Okay, good job, Billy.
Yeah, so...
Good job.
Name your planes.
You're an expert.
Yeah.
You're an expert. Congratulations. You know more about World War I planes than I do.
I made that name up.
Oh my God.
But you thought that, like, for a moment, you were going to keep it going and be like, I won this argument.
The Grumman 55 is a plane. It just first flight was 1970. So that for sure.
Wow.
Wait, the Grumman is a plane?
Yeah, Grumman's definitely the name of an aircraft man. That's why I went along with it. I was like, wow, Billy knows his World War I planes.
Yeah, that's crazy because
1970.
That's one of those things where I subconsciously just knew Grumman was affiliated.
Billy just time slipped.
Dude, when I used to get concussed, I used to have crazy deja vu. It was nuts.
Yeah.
That is a thing, dog.
Yeah.
Every concussion I've ever had, I had deja vu.
It was wild, and I still get it sometimes. It's crazy, dude. Like I'd be in lunch.
I wonder if that has been studied. Because that's you're not the first person I've heard say that shit. Like as soon as you get your bell rung, like it's like, oh, I know exactly what's about to happen in the next like 15 seconds.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest shit in the world.
But
like,
it was the weird.
Somebody,
Go
ahead.
No, so like for me, it was like I was walking to lunch, and I was just like, oh, we're having this. I think we're having ziti again, and they're like, what? And they're like, we've had ziti for the past 3 days. Like we had ziti like really recently. Like no, this is like I don't know. It was weird. I just remember like walking to lunch and having ziti.
It's a phenomenon that science knows very little about, but it is clear that it occurs more often in those with a brain injury than those with a healthy brain. Therefore, we can most likely accept that deja vu is your brain making a mistake and having a moment of confusion. The temporal lobe helps us store memories, so deja vu is likely to be connected to the function of that part of the brain. So yeah, it hasn't really been studied. They're just assuming that because there's one part of the brain that is responsible for memories, that part's probably the injured part.
Arian, I would love to, you know how they do those brain scan things where they just take a look in? We should both get them and see the difference in because you definitely like have more.
They can't test for CTE, that protein, until you're dead.
Oh, well, not the protein, just like the blood flow in the brain. I want to just get my brain scanned, just check it out.
You saying I got more brain damage than you, Billy?
No, I'm just trying to expense a brain scan. That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm down. Barstool won't do that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. Because the NFL won't even do that shit. So.
If you phrase it like that to Dave, Billy, like, hey, Goodell won't even do this, then yeah, you guys will get brain scans weekly.
Yeah.
What do you think the coolest way to time travel would be? Like, there's obviously the DeLorean. There's like movies where there's like the portal, and you time. Like, what do you think would be?
Click.
You know that's stopping time though.
No, you can go back and click.
Oh yeah,
you can rewind.
Yeah. I think Avery's right. I think the portal.
Portal.
The portals.
I love a good portal.
What's the portal?
It's just
like a big
booth.
circle with like a cloud, and then you just jump in it, and then you pop out.
Oh, I thought it was a movie or something I ain't seen.
Oh,
Okay.
you're describing a portal like it's just this area in space that you jump through, like a wormhole.
Kind of. What are you describing?
I envision the portal like a phone booth. Like you step in,
you could do that.
you got the
too.
buttons, and then you appear in the past. I think was that Rocky and Bullwinkle, or was that Mr. Peabody that used to travel back? I think they had like some sort of booth that
Doctor
they would
Who.
walk
Doctor
into.
Who.
Oh, the telephone booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
I
like.
think it was
But yeah,
Rocky
you're right. It's
Boy.
Mr. Peabody.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'm thinking Disney Channel original movie Minutemen with Cousin Greg, where they just jump through, and you kind of just like pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I would do click because I'll tell you exactly how I would have used my clicker remote in the past like 6 hours. I would have paused time to get through traffic to get here a lot earlier. I would have paused time to go eat food in the middle of this because I'm super hungry, and then come back and just played it. What else?
That's how you would use that like every day to sneak in an extra meal. You would. That would be the most common usage of the remote.
And a workout.
Yeah, how would gains translate in time travel?
Oh, I'd pause time, get a workout in, because like scheduling my mornings, like I'd wake up, do whatever I want till I'm woken, like work out, and then I'd start the day and start getting to work. I mean, it would be the ultimate procrastination tool.
Yeah, it really would be.
I mean, first of all, I wouldn't be working if I could pause time. I'm fucking robbing everything. Secondly, I think like you could be the most proficient human being that has ever walked the planet, because you could just pause it when you're tired, get you a good little nap or a sleep in, and you just never tired. That would be.
You'd never have to miss anything.
But would you age during that pause time? That way might be the trade-off.
Yeah.
So however much like extra time in soccer,
10 times out of 10, I'm taking it.
Subtracted.
Yeah, I think you would age, because if you couldn't age, then a workout wouldn't really do anything for you if you did it during the pause time, because your body wouldn't be breaking down and recovering.
No cellular replication.
Yeah. So if you did have like aging characteristics, then you could work out in real time and then use time to recover afterwards. You could pause time and just get swole, just feel your body expanding. But I think a portal is the way to go. I like the idea of walking like into a booth somewhere and hitting.
That was Bill and Ted too, wasn't it?
Bill and Ted, yeah.
Oh, I would have fast forwarded like classes, like played on double speed. Like, you know how you can play podcasts fast or like YouTube videos?
Mm-hmm.
I would do that with like lectures, because you'd pick up all the information. It would just be so much more time efficient.
Do y'all do that with podcasts?
Yeah.
I'm at 1.5. Sometimes I bump it up to 1.8.
I know people who do that. I can't. I've tried it. It fucks with my brain.
Only if I'm not actually trying to enjoy it.
Yeah,
I've only done it once. It wasn't a podcast though. It was like some dude who was explaining some kind of, I forget what it was. He was explaining how to do something. It was like an hour-long explanation.
I
But
can't
he
enjoy
talked
it.
slow as fuck. Like it was slow, and so people in the comments were like, "Speed to half speed. You're welcome." And you did it, and he was talking regular, and I was like, "Okay, bet." But I can't do it regular, nah.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember back when you used to download on Mediafire or like YouTube's MP3 for music? Like, you know how the songs would leak like before the album came out, or the album just came out, and they'd go on YouTube, but they'd be a little faster so they wouldn't get copyrighted. And then when you'd finally hear the song, how it's actually supposed to be played, you'd be like, oh, this is mad slow.
Yeah.
Did that happen to anybody else, or is that just me?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that happening with certain songs that came out that you would try to avoid the copyright infringement on. Somebody should. I wonder if there's anybody out there that listens to this podcast on half speed. Any psychos out there that are like, you know what, the episodes, I'd really like them to be 8 hours.
If there's any podcast that people would do it on, it would be this one.
An 8 hours
chopping and screwing our podcast. Please leave a comment.
Billy must sound so drunk at half speed.
I'm gonna be honest. I was listening to my voice back. I talk so slow. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
sorry.
It is.
We're used to it. We love you, man. But I always, we just talked about. I've always wondered this, dog. I always wondered because the only albums I remember leaking was rap. Like I can't remember other albums leaking. Like, is there R&B albums that leak? Is there country albums that leak, or is it just like, is this just a uniquely hip hop thing?
I think there's some rock albums that leak. I think.
Okay.
I think Guns N' Roses had an album leak.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Chinese Democracy. Yes, I feel like that one
was a
leaked.
new one. Because I remember listening to that sped up.
Yeah, it happens from time to time.
If we were to put this at a percentage, rap would probably be like 95%.
Yeah, these are so many elements that go into like the production, and so many people that work on the album that are not directly tied to the artist themselves.
I mean, I think like Lil Wayne, I don't know. There's really no other way to explain it other than he thought he was emailing songs to a producer, but was just posting them online himself. There's no other explanation for how weekly his music was leaking during 07, 08. It was absurd. He had a problem and he didn't even try and fix it.
How does a leak happen? Who
orchestrates the leak? Producer has a copy of the file saved on his computer. Then he sends it to somewhere. I don't know how, what's in it for the leaker.
I think it's like a 6 degrees of separation type of thing. It'd be like, say Billy, you the greatest artist ever, and you make an album, but I'm your producer, right? I got somebody who I trust and be like, listen, don't get us nobody, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? You can get it a week early. And he's like, bet. But he also has a guy like that. And that guy also has a guy like that. And sooner or later, shit is everywhere.
There's also some record labels do it to create a buzz.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're going to leak it a week early. Because even still, it's like, most people aren't going to download it this way. Like, most people are going to, especially now, they'll just still wait and add it to their library. Not everyone's scouring.
That's one of my pet peeves right now, though, too, is like manufactured viral shit.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot stand that shit, dog. And maybe I just need to log off, but that shit, nothing irks me like that right now. Like, I seen this one where this dude, y'all probably saw it. He doctored an explosion on a porch camera because he said somebody was stealing my packages.
Oh yeah.
I was like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, I just hate. It's just disgusting. It's gross.
And then he chased him after it exploded.
Get like herpes or something, huh?
In that video, he explodes it. And then the guy's running away, and then the hero, the guy himself, is running after him, being like, "Get away from my package!" Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you were there for the exact moment." And the dude, you can see he pulls his own pants down to make it look funny. It's just, the whole shit was just disgusting. Well, the funniest one is the clown. I think they were marketing for it, and the clown thing. People were seeing clowns everywhere, viral.
That was actually, I think that was dope though. That was actually, that's creative.
I think they never connected it. It's never been connected because I think it was on the news. People were actually scared of clowns. Like, they thought it was like, I mean, it's not crazy to think someone would dress up as a clown and try to commit crimes in this world we live in, where people are doing terrible things.
The Joker.
I was in Austin, Texas, bro, and we was like getting hella faded on like. They have, I think it's called 6th Street or some shit like that, where they closed bars down. I mean, closed the roads down. And so it's just a whole 2-3 blocks full of bars downtown. And so we like riding scooters and shit. And there's a dude, I don't know if it was a Jason mask. It was like, I think it was a Jason mask. He had like a dark blue jumpsuit on and was sitting there with a machete in his hand at the end of the street, just standing there in the middle of the street. As I'm riding down, I hit one of them like, skirt. I hit one of them, and the police is sitting right there, and I'm like, "Yo, look at this shit!" And dude's just looking, staring, and like doesn't move. And they was like, "Oh no, he always this is what he does. He just comes here and does that." he stands in the stairs. I'm like, fam, no. What do you mean?
He's a performance artist.
It was the weirdest shit in the world. And then like 3 hours later, I forget about the shit. Come back. He's fucking right there, still standing. I'm like, bro, something wrong with this man.
That's a pretty good bit. It's a good bit. You tip your hat.
Yeah. Apparently, that's just what people were like, no, that's cool, man. He has a name and shit. I'm like, yo, that shit's weird, though. You just stand there for hours watching people. I don't understand it.
That dude's definitely got a kink for that shit. He's probably like, people are scared of me. Yes.
Yeah, is that much different outside of the like attire and the lore tied to it? But is that much different than those people who pretend to be statues and then you give them $1 and they start moving? Like, is that
it's way. I skirted because of this man. I'm not skirting for the dude painted in all gold that can move like a robot. That's fire. That's a talent. This nigga just scares the shit out of people. Like,
was it a real machete?
I wasn't close enough to find out.
If it was a plastic prop machete, I'd say, like, if it was a bad costume, I'd say okay.
Yeah, but you can't even have you can't take a fake gun somewhere.
It was Texas. They shoot you if you have a fake gun.
Yeah, a gun knife.
I don't know. That shit was a lot though, man.
Oh, we got a gun knife.
We have the gun knife. The gun knife is here.
Can we show it?
Yeah, we got.
I can show it. I got it.
Can we? Is it legal?
Is it chill now to show it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
People.
I don't know. Allowed to have that shit? Are you allowed to have that shit in New York?
I don't know.
It's just.
Wait, Billy, how do you know? You said yes.
Yeah, so quick.
So
because it's a knife. It's a
knives are super illegal in New York.
You can't have knives in New York.
No, it's not a spring-loaded knife.
I don't. So these are the rules. I don't know.
That is not the law.
No.
What are the rules? Let's look up the rules in New York.
Knives
And then
in
if we
NYC.
find out that it violates, then it was all a bit. And we
Yeah.
don't actually have the gun knife.
No, that's not true. Because I bought. Yeah, it's gravity knives. New York knife possession crimes. I mean, they should allow good guys with knives to be running around with all these bad guys with knives.
Hell yeah, doctors, teachers, lawyers.
Yeah, give everyone a knife. Oh, and
That's
a
just
big knife.
Everybody stay strapped.
You want a battle axe.
You can't have cane swords here. That sucks.
Switch. So
My great grandma has
switchblade.
one of those. It's sick.
They're badass.
Yeah.
That is.
My grandpa had one, but he didn't know there was a knife in it.
You can't have kung fu stars either.
Or Pillium ballistics, which I don't know what it is.
All right, let's see the gun knife.
It's sick.
Allegedly.
From his name's Tom. I don't know if you want to.
Shout out Tom.
It's an alleged gun knife.
Stay handsome and gorgeous, friends. Please don't allow Billy to touch. Too dangerous for him. That's what the note says on this.
Are you
Smart
serious?
Man. Yeah. Smart man.
Funny,
This is
ha
what I
ha.
mean with responsibility.
Funny, ha ha.
Some guy was at an Amish market in PA. Well, Tom was at an Amish market in PA, and he DM'd us and was like, it was just sitting under the shelf.
The gun knife.
Watch out, because I've taken out to undo it. It basically chops your finger off if it's in
Is it
the-
loaded?
If it's in there, yeah,
If
that's
it's
a very dangerous
Yeah.
place to put your. I got good trigger discipline.
If you put your finger in the trigger hole,
Yeah.
what is that called?
Circumcise.
It's like the
Circumcise.
trigger safety. No, it's not the safety.
I don't know. This is an intense gun knife, though.
Yeah,
And
and
so
look,
what is
that's
that?
a bullet knife.
Oh, and then the bullet that comes with it.
Is also a knife.
It's a cute little knife.
Everything is knife.
Everything in it's like that show on Netflix. Is it cake?
Yeah,
Is it a knife?
knife. I want to see a knife that folds out to be a knife.
Another knife?
Yeah,
double knife.
Knife. It's like, oh, it's just a butter knife. Nope,
Now what?
it's a knife.
What could you ever use the little cute bullet knife here for? And
That looks
I
like-
imagine it like this is the dad knife. He's like going to church.
Yeah.
He's bringing his little son knife along with
Oh,
him.
that's the bullet. That's my seed.
Yeah.
I shot that.
Throw
Out.
that Billy.
No.
Bill, you want to catch?
And so
No.
the guy on the side of the gun knife, his name's like Wild Bill Hickok.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like
If you look him up, he's like an old school sheriff, like
Dude, he's
in Western times.
he's
like
a huge legend.
one of like the fastest hands in the West.
Yeah, Wild Bill Hickok.
He
I think
got a
he
gun knife.
I think he
That's so
hunted Billy the Kid. I think he was Wild Bill Hickok.
It's like the only lore I know about Albuquerque, New Mexico is that's where Billy the Kid either like died or that's where he's from. One of those two.
Oh, this is so cool. I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna put this away.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely going to hurt myself with this. I have to imagine that as far as inventions go, that have the highest probability of somebody injuring themselves in the first 5 minutes of owning said possession, a gun knife has got to be at the top of the list. Right? It's like a gun knife, a trampoline. Trampolines are definitely up there. And then those hoverboard things that people would get on and try to run around, just eat shit on.
Dude, I would 100%.
Roman candle,
definitely.
So Wild Bill that would be a crazy event to time travel to, would be Wild Bill Hickok. He got killed during a card game because he was a great gambler and he just got shot.
Oh, I forgot to.
Sounds like he was wrong.
I got to continue with the time slip. So I didn't even get to the story of the time slip.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. That was a good little tangent. So this guy, Sir Victor Goddard, he was flying from to Edinburgh from Andover, England, right? And so this guy, Victor Goddard, was a wing commander in the Royal Air Force, and he was sent to inspect a disused airfield near Edinburgh at a place called Drem. So he's in his aircraft. He's currently an active member of the military when this happens in 1935. He's flying on the mission, and he flew over the dilapidated airfield in Drem, Scotland. He saw it. It was long abandoned to the point where foliage had overtaken most of the area and cattle had made themselves at home. That's what he saw when he flew over. It was a farm with a lot of nothing going on. He continued on his way until he reached his destination at Edinburgh, and then a couple days later, he began his trip back to Andover. He took the same route, which would lead him once again over the Drem airfield, but before he got there, he ran into a peculiar storm. It had high winds, torrential rain. The storm clouds had a yellowish tint to them. It didn't take long for Goddard to become disoriented, and he lost control of his plane. He tried to regain control by climbing above the yellow clouds. By the way, that was the right action to take. If you ever become disoriented in the skies, you always want to climb, gain altitude, regain situational awareness, then you can plan your next move. You'd rather have more altitude to play with. That was a good move by Victor Goddard. He was well trained.
Remind me, I have Top Gun questions for you after this.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to address them because after watching it a second time,
I'm going to see it today, so I got to leave the room when you guys do that.
Okay, all right, you're good.
Russ.
That's fair.
I envy you, Avery, because you get to experience Top Gun.
I
too.
also still have to see it. I need to go.
I've seen it. I've seen it 3 times now.
Dude, I gotta see Prehistoric Planet on Apple Plus.
All right, so Goddard. So he climbed. He got above the yellow clouds. They seemed to have no end. His plane began to fall. Fortunately for him, something unexpected happened. The clouds broke, and he could see the ground again. Off in the distance was that Drem airfield that he flew over just a couple days prior. As he approached the airfield, hoping to reorient himself, the storm vanished. The sky turned bright and sunny. It stopped raining. Everything was clear, but something was different this time. The airfield at Drem was no longer abandoned. In fact, it looked good as new. He could see mechanics below. 4 planes, each painted yellow, sat on the runway. One was a model that he'd never seen before, a monoplane unlike anything in the Royal Air Force in 1935. And what were the mechanics wearing? Blue overalls. This, along with the yellow planes, Goddard found strangest of all. RAF mechanics in 1935 wore brown overalls, not blue, and there were no yellow planes, to his knowledge. He didn't have much time to think about it because he was flying quickly to understand what he was seeing. By the time he'd passed over the airfield, the storm had suddenly returned, and he was back in the rain again. And when he landed, he told all his friends what had happened. This old airfield had turned into a bustling new airfield. And as you'd expect, he was met with skepticism, and he kept the story mostly to himself. He did tell his superiors about it at the time, but he didn't want anyone to think he was crazy after all. And then he'd later retell it in his 1975 book, Flight Towards Reality. The final twist to this account, in 1939, the vision that Sir Victor Goddard saw at the Drema airfield actually came to pass. The RAF began to paint their training planes yellow, and a new monoplane, the Magister, just like the one he witnessed in 1935, joined the roster. And by that year, the mechanics' overalls had been updated to blue, and the airfield at Drem had made a full comeback. So he's saying that he experienced a time slip, saw the future momentarily, came back, said what he saw, and then 4 years later, everything that he saw happened in real life.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. So Arian's going to say how that's not true and blah, blah, blah. I've got science, and science says that's impossible because you want to be a wet blanket on the time slip theory. But just think about it.
I have
Your thoughts?
That's pretty wild.
cap.
Mm-hmm.
Big super duper cap. Big one. Cowboy hat. Oversized. Fairgrounds.
How do you explain that? Fairground hat.
I don't know. Like, there's details I would have to investigate on, but like, he experienced a time slip. It's just that's so when you talk about it, exactly. Billy made this exact point: is if you're working under the assumption that the Earth was in the same position 40 years from now, it's going to be in the same space, like coordinate. It's not the case. It's moving 1,000 miles. It's rotating extremely fast, 1,000 miles. It's moving. I don't know how fast it moves, but like the entire think about the Earth is moving, the solar system is moving, the galaxy is moving, and the universe is moving. There's no way 40 years from now you're going to be in the exact same spot, so where you can have a quote unquote time slip to see the runway. It's cat. It's either drugs or he's lying.
Later, he retired in 1951 and became the principal of the College of Aeronautics, where he remained until 1954. He was also a governor of St. George's School, Harpenden, and of Bryanson School, and was the president of the Airship Association from 1975 to 1984. And then he became a UFO guy later on in his life.
That tracks.
Ancient alien type or just like regular UFO?
He argued for extrasensory perception and other paranormal phenomena in this book, Flight Towards Reality. His claims are disputed by skeptics, but just because he went a little bit kooky there at the end.
Well, he may have not been kooky. I was talking to some fighter pilots I met a couple years ago, and they were saying, like, they say that they know so many older pilots who've kind of gone that UFO kooky route because these guys spent so much flight hours flying that they saw some shit that they can't, like, most people have a story, but they never tell it because they don't want to get mental health, have to like be taken for a mental health check. And then you can get your pilot's license taken away because they're like, this guy, like, he might go do what that German dude did. So I mean, I think they have such a different perspective.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm so skeptical about shit like that is not because I don't believe people have seen what they saw, right? I definitely think that they saw what they think they saw, but it might not be what they think it was, right? And so it's like I don't know how many different anomalies that have and can happen in the skies that are just unbeknownst to pilots. I haven't seen it before. There's plenty of things like that, and so it's like just to hark it off as it's something paranormal, and I don't want to tell anybody because it's the odds are just low. But I'm with it though. See, like, this is the thing is, like, I'm a skeptic to a default. I would love there to be aliens visiting. I would love there to be time slips in the universe. I would love this shit. I would beat off to this shit. But it's just not. It's always just big fairground caps.
I mean, what if our deja vu when we're concussed is really us time slipping? You can time slip too if you bang your head against the wall.
That's the secret. That's the secret to time traveling. It's just play. You have to play football.
Yeah, only football players can time slip.
We time slip all the time.
Yeah. Did we talk about this before?
I time slip all the time when I'm watching the Chicago Bears play. Run the ball 70 times a game.
Oh, that was a good one, Billy. That was a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
There was also the story of Dwight Eisenhower when he actually was visited by people from the future.
Definitely cap.
You don't even know yet.
Nope. I don't trust no presidents.
Oh, so you know what's funny? Stephen Hawking, he had this big old party, got catering, tons of booze, rented out a venue, and didn't tell anybody until the next day after the party had happened. And then he started really advertising, like, he didn't tell anybody, and no one showed up because he was like, well, if time travelers would exist, I'm going to definitely start saying that it happened the next day. Like, and advertising it so only people from the future would have known that it happened, and no one showed up. So he was like, that's why time travel isn't real. Or it was to prove that it's a multiple reality continuum, so that you can travel time to other universes parallel, but not traverse the same parallel universe.
Well, yeah. So I think that's more probable, actually.
Yeah.
That we live in a multiverse, and you can like the way they always explain it is like, if you was explaining it a couple episodes back, Billy, where it's like, if you're a 2-dimensional being, and to you like a dot, like
yeah,
a 3-dimensional sphere passing through your reality is just like a dot that like expands and then closes, because it's all you experience. So like to us, we're in a third dimension. It makes more sense that there is a reality out there that we cannot interact with because of our limitations dimensionally. Oh, that makes more sense than actually going to the different time and space.
Oh, we should invite some time travelers to this podcast.
You should get a time traveler on Billy's list.
Yeah. If you're a time traveler, you should be right outside the door right about now, 4:23 p.m., Monday, June 6th, 2022. Come back so we can interview you on this podcast. You could just sit right now. Like, this is the last part of the show. You can come in. And so only someone from the future would know that they should come now.
Well, they still would have had to listen to the show in the future.
Right. So think about it. They listen to the show and they come back now
and they travel
for us
back
to interview them.
Right.
At the moment.
But okay, so you're saying a listener, you've narrowed the pool from anyone who could have time traveled to anyone who could have time traveled and listens to this show.
But the only people who could come to this show is someone who can time travel, who listened to this.
Correct.
And shows up. So if someone knocks on the door right about now.
But what I'm saying is
I'm just waiting for this time traveler.
The pool.
I know.
All potential time travelers to all potential time travelers who listen to this show.
Well, have PFT tweet it out.
Yeah.
That way you reach 1 million more.
Yeah. So
people.
Tweet it tomorrow, PFT.
If you're a time traveler, open invitation to come on Macrodosing.
Yeah, and then give the date as yesterday.
I feel like we used to get more people that would just like claim in the public sphere that they were from the future.
That was a thing on TikTok for a while.
Internet killed that.
I'm saying internet's knocking a lot of this dumb shit out. The whole medium shit, that's kind of going away too. Alien sightings, those have kind of waned.
But like of the actual alien beings, not UFOs are. I think the internet's great for UFOs.
So wait,
they're not UFOs. Well, they're UFOs.
I was going to say the government came out and said like, oh yeah, there's a ton of UFOs.
Yeah. You know what was always fun? Remember seeing those old videos and photos and you'd see people with like a cell phone and they're like, oh my God, it's a time traveler. But it was just an invention that they didn't know existed. Like there was a video of like 1912 Times Square and there was someone holding up a box to their head that looked exactly like a cell phone. And they're like, oh my God, it's a time traveler. But really back then, deaf people or people hard of hearing would sometimes use little boxes to hear better. And that's what it was.
I'm actually fascinated with those videos. Like if you type in like early 1900 videos of people just like walking and shit, I'm obsessed with looking at those videos. Cause like you're just thinking like they were just going to go get a little snack to bite to eat or whatever in Times Square. But what is this big fucking thing this weirdo dude is like pointing at everybody? And like everybody that was in that video is dead. Like that is dark. Fascinating to me. Like, I mean, that's how I think about it. Because like right now we on a podcast chilling at Woo Woo. You go outside, people driving to their work, doing their thing. We're like, yo, in 100 years, people gonna be looking at shit like this and be like, yo, all the motherfuckers is dead.
So someone's gonna be watching this podcast.
And dumb. They're gonna be like, what idiots? Why did they make life so much harder than it needed to be?
There was another trend on TikTok that I saw. I think it was over the course of the weekend. People were claiming that gasoline doesn't smell anymore.
Oh yeah.
And it's all people that like very clearly have COVID. And and they're at a gas station. They're like, this is crazy. That's why gas is more expensive now. Like they changed what it is. And gas doesn't smell. You all remember how gas used to smell? Well, now it doesn't. It's them like at a gas station just like huffing gasoline.
I saw we can
You're
cut.
telling me there's a TikTok trend right now?
Yeah, people claiming that gas.
No,
are
but-
sniffing gas.
But I
Have
don't
you
think
seen-
gas. But gas gives a visceral reaction when you smell it. It's not like COVID smell. Like when you lose your smell with COVID, it's like losing taste. But it would be like not being able to feel your tongue if you couldn't smell gasoline.
No, gasoline. I'm pretty sure they add the smell to gas.
No, that's natural gas.
They don't do it to gasoline.
No, gasoline has a smell, and you can get high on it, and it's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I saw the craziest thing on TikTok. So you know the Buffalo shooting that happened?
Oh yeah, we talked about this when you weren't here.
Oh, are you talking about the
water
guy
car?
with the water car?
Yeah.
You guys talked about that already?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Nice you don't listen to the show, producer.
I literally walked out. I had to get stuff for an ad, okay? Arian? Damn, that's
Well-
fucked up. I wanted to talk about
Have
that.
you
What do you guys think?
have you guys seen the Yankee Candle reviews?
yeah.
That's
wa-
how you know a new wave is coming.
That was tied into the TikTok thing about the gasoline too. Yeah. So you want to explain,
Yeah.
Philly?
So every few months for the last 2 years, Yankee Candle gets bombarded with reviews saying that the candles no longer smell, that the company's cheapening out on the scents, and that they're overrated. And it always coincides with a new surge of COVID. It's people buying candles, and they're like, "Man, this thing stinks. I paid
It's
$30.
trash."
Candle doesn't even smell." And it's like, no, you've identified half the problem, but you haven't quite nailed what's wrong here.
That sucks, man.
Okay, yeah, it goes
I
viral
love-
like every 4 months.
Avery, to your point, Arian was explaining how like there are some people that have been working on like hydrogen powered cars and things like that.
Yeah.
It's very true.
So sorry, Arian. I do listen to the show. I just had to get. I had to get these handball jerseys. That we have an ad for the handball.
Oh no,
league.
Avery, we didn't talk about this when you left the room. We talked about this last episode.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah. Okay, I suck. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I don't listen.
I also saw something on TikTok talking about like us living in a simulation or whatever. Have you ever seen your neighbors unload their groceries? I just thought about to say.
I seen
Yeah.
that.
I've never seen
yes,
this.
I've seen it all the time.
I've never
Like,
seen it.
dozens, if not hundreds of times.
I mean,
I've never seen that.
Yes.
I've
seen it.
carried my neighbor's groceries up to her, like, 'cause she lives in a higher floor.
Oh, wow.
You try,
Yeah,
you try
nice,
to get some
Billy.
cutty.
But, like,
Yeah,
that's-
you try to get some
No,
cutty.
I'm not. No. She's an older woman.
Yeah,
That don't
nice.
matter.
Yeah, you know who you're talking to. That's
That's
Arian
right
Foster.
up. That's right up my alley, brother.
I get a sick like rush from helping older people. I don't know why.
A sick rush.
It's not a sick rush, but I'm just like, yeah, like look at me being like a tree fell. I was driving upstate to the PLL thing, and a tree fell on the road. And then when the state troopers showed up, like we all like tried to move the tree together. And we got out of the way, and I was the only non-government employee helping, and I was just like, hell yeah, like that got me
They're like,
hyped.
who the fuck is that guy? They're like, get him out of here.
Yo, we had some fucking weirdo like fucking with us.
Did he knock the tree over? Is that what
Is he returning to the scene of the crime?
Yeah, Billy just goes on like a rampage of chaos, just causing inconveniences so that he can show up and help people fix them.
Well, there's a ton of firefighters
fucking-
like that.
Fucking syndrome from The Incredibles.
Yeah,
No.
no. Some people do like start fires, right?
Yeah, I think there's one.
So that they can be a hero. That's what they tried to say that Richard Jewell did. The guy at the Atlanta Olympics. They said that he had that
Yeah.
syndrome where I don't know if it's a syndrome or just like a behavioral thing that they've observed over the years, where somebody creates an event like a bomb so that they can save the day and be a hero afterwards. Turns out they fucked that one up because Richard Jewell was actually he just saved people's lives.
Do I have that little thing? Is that how like it's gonna get extreme? And I'm gonna start creating problems.
Yeah,
like,
first now it's
you
you
just
moving
think
the
you're a
tree.
branch. You think you're a branch of the military. You think
Yeah.
you're an extension.
the military. It's
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
I'm just out here. I think I'm definitely a sleeper cell. Like one day my handler's gonna come say the magic word and snap, and then I'm gonna be like,
You're gonna go
Here I
psycho.
no, not psycho, but like I'm gonna remember my training.
I think that's just residual like kid shit. Cause didn't you used to say you was like super patriotic and shit? Like you were like, I'm gonna go fight for the country. And then now you're like hella skeptical about the government. Like,
Yeah.
It seems hilarious to me.
No, but I love that rush of like, I don't know, like doing stuff for the community
I gotta go pee. Carry on.
Okay.
Billy loves the community rush. I love that.
Just like yeah.
He's
We're
not
just talking
doing
about like the good
volunteering.
feeling that you get from
He's
volunteering.
not,
That's
Big
all.
Brother, he's not doing anything.
Billy's like, yo, I gave a bunch of soup to people that didn't have any meals. Afterwards, dude, I was fucking like pumped. I was jacked up. You're just talking about
Well, I
like,
used
the
to do that
spirit
in
of
high school.
volunteerism.
I used to do that in high school. We had a charity that we ran
Yeah.
called Midnight Run.
You know what gets you real high is helping the less fortunate.
Yeah, but it's absolutely, you know how they say, do you help other people because you're truly selfless, or you get like a rush, like you feel good about yourself and that's why you do it? Like, you know, that juxtaposition?
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% like selfishly, yeah, I'm helping
Billy
to feel
is-
good about
Billy's
myself.
super apathetic. He just loves to like be recognized as a helper.
But that's as long as you're helping, I
don't
think
know
that's
what it
fine,
is.
right?
Right.
Like your internal motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares about
Nah,
the internal
'cause-
motivation?
Because it could get real ugly, right? Because it could get to the point where it's like, you know, people who like film themselves helping homeless people or feeding homeless people and shit like that.
Yeah,
that shit,
Malik
it's
Willis.
exploitive. It's exploitive. It's gross, man. That
I
shit
would
gets
never-
gross to me.
I would
sometimes.
never take a video of it, but I just like the pat on the back from the people who watch it.
But if there was a camera that happened to be around that caught you,
You helping people for clout, bro?
No, not for clout, but like when the state trooper is like, oh, thanks, man. We could have never gotten this tree out of the way without you. I'm just like, yeah, thank you.
That's right. That's right.
I think that's
Give me
my-
dues, motherfucker.
Or like when I like help my,
That's-
my older neighbors. Or like when I let Ben Mintz, you know, use all my stuff.
That subsection of not even subsection, but like all famous YouTubers, it's almost like there's some weird contract where they also have to be super charitable. They're
Yeah.
a constant, like every video, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Vegas and spend $1 million on myself, but I'm also gonna give 50 grand to this random guy on the side of the road. So everything I'm doing is kosher from here on out. Like it's so strange that they've folded that part into it.
But can't they write that off on their taxes?
If they monetize in the video, then yeah.
Yeah, everything they do in the video they can write off technically.
But that's also my I have a super quarrel with foundations, because every foundation I've ever seen, like, and this is why I don't do anything with my foundation anymore. I'm like my finance guys are like, oh, it's basically just like a tax shelter, and I'm like, time out, what? And so they just started giving me like the inner workings of it, and I go to other guys' foundations events, and like, yeah, you get good work done, but you don't do it for the majority that I've seen. You don't do it for the reasons that you're saying. You're doing it to like evade taxes and keep a little extra on the side. And it's just gross. Like I got into it like on some Instagram comments with, I follow this rapper, top 10 in my opinion. His name's Royce the 5'9".
Oh, Royce, dude. I love
Ooh,
Royce.
Calm
the
down.
5'9".
Calm down. Why are you yelling at me?
Dude, because
You even snapped at me, bro.
no, I never thought, I don't know.
No, his pen game's amazing. But anyway, he posted this joint about that rapper 6ix9ine from the Bronx. I think it's from the Bronx or something like that. Little Mexican cat. So
yeah.
he goes to Brooklyn. He goes to like Mexico. Or something,
Yeah.
and he films himself giving like 50 grand to like some family. Now, granted, for that family, that's fire, right? That's food. That's you know, they're gonna get taken care of for a lot. That'll stretch a long way, right? But to film it and to put they faces on, because like I've been in a position where I needed charity before, where I needed that shit, right? And like I couldn't imagine somebody coming in my house giving us groceries for the day with a camera, right? Like talking about I'm just helping these people out. Like, yo, fuck you, dog. Like, yeah, we need the help, but like that's embarrassing, right? And of course the people are super grateful and shit, but like I know it's a good thing overall, but it's exploitive because of what it's like a look at me. I'm charity. Look at me, and that's why you won't see me doing charity on camera anymore, because I stopped the shit when I was in the NFL, because I seen a whole bunch of people like they don't do charity without a fucking camera, and I'm like, yo, that shit is just disgusting.
But that 6ix9ine thing, I was like, dude, you're giving these people all that money in Mexico, they're going to get robbed. It's cash money, like,
Target,
and you have
yeah.
their faces on camera. Like the cartel might be there the next day after you post it. Like that's so fucked
I don't know
up.
the cartel, but
Not the
just
cartel,
yo,
they have
and
money.
but anytime you spread crumbs, they flock, right? Like that's just what it is. Like people fighting for crumbs out there. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a more genuine way to give to people, and it just doesn't involve a camera, dog. Like the majority of the charity that I've done has just been one-on-one, or like the programs that we set up is just one-on-one. I don't need a camera there. I've asked for. I'm not saying I'm on this high horse. I'm just saying for me, I cannot stomach charity with cameras there. I think it's disgusting. Oh, I don't know if I said it. This would change my mind. What changed my mind was we was in, I think it was like 2010, 11 maybe. I don't know. It was we was at a children's hospital, and we had like mandatory community service every Monday or Tuesday. And so we would show up, we had our little Texans polos on, and we went to some children's hospital, and it was the floor where there was a whole bunch of cancer patients. I believe it was cancer patients, but this one particular kid had cancer. And as we go in the room, we got the mascot, this big fucking bull, right? That comes in the room, big old football, like 7, 8 of us come in the room. We're like, hey, and the kid could not care less that we played ball. He was scared. It was just like sitting there like, what's going on, right? And I'm just like, and there's a camera there, and I'm just like, what are we doing? Why are we what the fuck is this? I walked out, though. I was like, this shit is, it's just disgusting, man. I don't know. I might be. Did
it feel like you were making a commercial for yourself?
Yeah, because it wasn't like maybe some kids were like, that's cool, they came to see me, but we weren't there for them. We were there because it was mandatory, and we were there to show how much we do for the community. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's that there's that old adage, like, is there such thing as true altruism? Because it does feel good to help people, but at the end of the day, I think there's a way to do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling good about helping people. I think there's a way to do it to not be exploitive with it. Like, you're gaining like some kind of social currency off of somebody else's misfortune. You know what I mean? And to me, that was always just very disgusting. I don't know.
Is there a way to do it? Because I agree with you, but is there a way to do it not in a show-off way, but to highlight, like, this is also an issue that I want more eyes on? You know what I mean? Because this isn't a Tekashi video. Like, I'm talking about, like, yeah, this is like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge kind of was like this viral thing to.
Well, I think that's something that, I mean, even that got a little, but I think the premise of it was, here's an issue that we have, right? I think that needs more attention, and it did. It garnered millions and millions of dollars of research money and attention and all of that stuff, right? And I think there was, you didn't have to show an actual ALS patient, right? You didn't have to go. It was just something that caught, and I was like, yo, this is a good way to bring attention to. Right? Like when there's cameras involved with like exploiting people actually suffering in time, I think that's when, to me, it just crosses the line. I've definitely partook in that stuff in the past, but I'm just saying, like, there was a point in my journey where I was like, I can't do this shit no more, because it just didn't feel right.
You've also, I don't want to point fingers here, you've also golfed with an untucked polo, you heathen.
That shit was funny as hell, dog.
You couldn't believe it. You were like, oh, man.
I was like, yo, because it was just like, I was just fucking with PFT. I was just random to homies golfing. I'm gonna fuck with them. I had no idea that your fans were gonna have receipts that like that's insane. I forgot I went golfing with the camera. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, they got you big time, because they tried to reply to you at first to show you playing football, and you had one of those, Ezekiel Elliott style like roll-ups where your entire stomach was uncovered. You're like, that's football. I'm talking about golf.
Yeah,
and then
definitely Ezekiel Elliott, even though it was before him.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Did you invent that style?
No, that shit's been going on since the 80s, dog.
Well, they got you like 3 minutes later after you said that's football, I'm talking about golf, and you were very, very much untucked. That was nice to see. By the way, never post a picture or a photo. Not really a photo. Don't post a video of your swing online. I mean, I knew what I was doing when I posted, because my swing is atrocious. And so I love people that like put their golf videos on there, and they're like, look how good my swing is. So I've got a disgusting golf swing. And I was like, fix my swing for me. The amount of DMs I got from golf fans, I don't think I've ever had a response like that from anything. Like, I go back to the mayonnaise mac and cheese that I put out on Thanksgiving a couple years ago as a troll, And I don't even think I got the level of replies from that as I did from my golf swing. And you cannot make heads or tails of anybody's golf advice because none of the shit makes sense. They're like, yeah, PFT, your backswing is good, but then you need to release your hand as it comes through your hips. And you got to make sure that you close out your left foot. It's like these are just words that don't make any sense at all.
Yeah, you're going to tuck your shoulder in and your knee's going to be a little bent, but not too bent.
Release your wrist as you come through the plane. It's like, dude, you are not making any sense whatsoever.
The best golf advice I ever got, I was watching a Tiger Woods tutorial, and he was like, just play your game. Find what's comfortable and find what works. I was playing with this dude in 2008 who went to the course with just a regular shirt on, didn't have a collar shirt on, but just old and just didn't give a fuck. He was like, I don't give a fuck. And so I was playing with him. Every swing was the same, and it did the exact what's the one where it goes from right to left?
A fade.
Okay, so he faded every shot. I'm talking chip from the tee, driver.
Oh, wait, no,
wood.
Right to left. He's a right-hander?
Right-handed.
Okay,
yeah.
so was it like a bad hook or was it in control?
No, he did it every time, and I'm talking about he might have made par every single hole.
Yeah,
draw.
so it's a draw. It's a draw then.
Draw. Okay, so he just he stepped up and went right, and then went left, and it dropped where he wanted every single time. And he was just, and so Tiger Woods said that shit, and that's when I saw it in live action. That's what he said too. He was like, I mean, you got to find your own swing and just do what's comfortable to you. And so like everybody's a fucking golf coach, especially on the golf course. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, I learned throughout this round of golf, one, that I don't really enjoy golf that much. I took off. I just would not play certain holes. I'd be like, this is too much golf for me. But as I first started, I tried to, they always say like, let the club do the work. So I was swinging like, 75%, just trying to make contact. And I was god awful. I'm talking like there was no rhyme or reason to how badly I was hitting these shots. I would hook some that went almost horizontal to my left. I would pop some up that went like 50 yards straight up in the air. And then after like hole 8, I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to swing hard every time I'm up there. And then I noticed that I was able to actually like hit golf shots that looked like golf shots. Now, granted, they had enormous slices on them and they would end up on like the adjoining fairway, but at least they would go up in the air and out and, somewhere in the semblance of what you would expect a golf shot to look like. So now I just have to figure out how to get my slice under control. And once I do that, then I'll be able to play golf, I think. But we originally planned on playing 27 holes. That would be too much golf. That's too much golf.
Yeah. 18 is more than enough.
I need to go. I think I'm at the golf level where I find the driving range really fun, like going to a Top Golf. But
isn't that like everyone though?
I don't know.
What if I taught you guys how to play golf?
I need to learn.
We did like a video series.
That'd be
I'm pretty
chill.
good.
Just get everybody in Macrodosing good at golf.
Are you really good at golf?
One thing this company needs is more golf videos.
Yeah.
We don't have enough.
Breaking 140 is what I was doing.
I'll give you a good 95 to 100.
Yeah, that's a fun level of golf. If you can get in the 100 area, you can have fun on the course.
Yeah, you like double bogeying, get a par here and there, a birdie if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
there was a point where I was in like the 80s, but I was like playing every day, and I got the bug bad. But it's just I don't have that dedication anymore.
Yeah, I do like Trent's videos though, where he does the breaking 100. Now he's going to do breaking 90. Yeah. Those are very satisfying.
That's where I've been. Every time I've been out, I've been filming breaking 90. So I won't be here Wednesday.
Okay, I think it's also just because Trent is so likable.
Yeah, he's the best.
No matter what he does, everyone's going to watch and be like, oh, this is delightful.
We should have him on an episode. I think people would like him.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Macrodosing. The story behind Iowa. Tell me everything you know about Iowa, Trent. Just unload, brain dump.
Yo, so one of my good friends, I won't name them, is fucking ass at geography. And so I was explaining to them geography, like on a map. Just I could name probably, I think we tested it out, 48 states. Just I could name like pointing where they at on the map. I think I missed there's like New Hampshire and Rhode Island. Them shits get kind of confusing.
New Hampshire and Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont. Yeah, I always fucked them up.
I always remember New Hampshire's on the right and Vermont's on the left because Vermont's more left, like communism.
Also, doesn't Vermont? It looks like a V.
Not really.
That was quite a look that Arian just gave.
It's just,
To Billy.
it's just the communist shit is hilarious to me. But anyway, so I was taught this in grade school. I don't remember if y'all was though. I mean, I was no because they was not. In the middle of the country, there's a guy.
Yeah, with a hat.
So y'all was taught, yeah, he got a hat on with the boots and that. That's where the boots come
Louisiana's the
from.
boot, yeah.
Okay, so did all y'all learn that?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking about Mimel.
This
They
is
had a name.
The first
I'm
I'm hearing of this.
You don't know about Mimel?
You don't know about
is
the
that
guy?
the acronym?
Yeah, Mimel the elf, and Tennessee is his frying pan, and he's cooking Kentucky Fried Chicken in the frying pan. So it's Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas,
PFT got the extra
Louisiana.
teachings.
Yeah, I put some steak
Yeah,
on that one.
I didn't know he was cooking fried chicken and it was sizzling with Ohio and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the steam. There's a steam coming off it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. But they was like, what the fuck is this guy? I was showing them, that's cool. I've never learned that. And I was like, I thought that's what we were supposed to learn in elementary school. But that was dope. Big T, you never seen this dude?
No.
Look him up.
Look
Big
him
T.
up. Look him up right quick.
Mimel.
I remember on the 50 states test, I forgot to write in Rhode Island, and I almost got a perfect score, and I still am upset about it to this day.
Damn.
And it's not that I didn't know Rhode Island; I just forgot to write it.
Small space to write. I don't know.
Honestly, it's their fault for not putting a place for me to write it.
And also, it's not even an island. What's up with that?
Well, there's an island. There's a
So why
Bananas
only
design.
for these states though? Those are very easily identifiable states.
Well,
really.
those are the only ones that look like a guy that's cooking fried
right,
chicken.
but like those aren't ones that you should need help knowing what they are.
It's just a fun thing to know.
Listen, we're talking like second grade here.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to do anything to get us to remember
Nah,
this
this
shit, man.
stinks.
You could also say that
guy stinks.
Tennessee's his dick, and he's playing just the tip with Virginia and North Carolina.
That's what they listen. They kicked that teaching out of Florida. Really quick.
No, but I'm not far off. When like you look at Vermont, New Hampshire, Vermont is V-shaped for Vermont, and then New Hampshire you can remember because it starts with an N and it's a little bit further north.
It's always crazy to me.
Okay,
Most of the country
I'm in.
struggles with New England, and it's obviously growing up there very easy. I have trouble with like the states that are just big squares. Colorado, New Mexico, all these. Like,
Wyoming.
See, I grew up there, so like they teach you. It's the only states where they have 90-degree angles, so they call it the four corners. So New
Yeah.
Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. So that was always very easy for me to remember. That's the only ones I ever had trouble with. And when you said Vermont is shaped like a V, it just clicked. At 35 years old, I get it.
I think
will
you got
pass
it
that
now.
with flying colors. Yeah, I got it now.
I think you got it for life. Speaking of Denver and Colorado, there's a good question that I can pose to this podcast. It's actually the perfect place to discuss it. Coming out of the Denver Broncos minicamp that they had, they set up a camera and they've got a question of the day. They asked all the players on their way off the field, "Is water wet?" Your thoughts?
we've talked.
So,
Wet means that hydrogen and oxygen molecules are clinging to something, and water is hydrogen and oxygen molecules clinging to itself, so it is wet.
It's
Yeah.
clinging to itself, so it's making the
Yeah.
other water wet.
Right, so it is
Yeah.
wet.
But what if there was just one hydrogen and it's two oxygen, right? Because
Yeah. No.
H2O, so it's two hydrogen, one
Two
oxygen.
That
So
would be hydrogen dioxide. That'll kill you.
that will kill you. So will water, though. If you drink too
Enough
much
of it, yeah.
But so if you're looking at one molecule, is that wet?
Yeah,
The one molecule, even
one-
if it's not touching anything.
yeah,
But what's it making wet? Itself?
yes.
So I look at it like water is the state of wetness, right? Rather than it can make things wet, right? But water itself is the state of being wet. So yeah, it's definitely wet.
Here's actually probably a good analogous. Like, is paint painted?
It's that's kind of the same question, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Wait, like paint in a bucket or paint on a wall?
Yeah, let's just say you have paint in a bucket. Is that paint painted?
Well, it depends on how you're using the word Painted, I guess.
Like, it's
because like if I painted, yeah, no, because painted is an action, it's a verb.
is it,
And
or is it an adverb?
Painted.
By the way, I'm dumb. I was thinking of hydrogen monoxide, not hydrogen, not HO2. I
Yeah.
don't think that's. I don't
You
know
don't
if
have to
that's
be
a
so
thing.
hard on yourself, pal.
Dihydrogen monoxide.
No, yeah, but that was.
Dihydrogen monoxide is, everybody who drinks it dies.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Dihydrogen monoxide. Yeah. it's
everyone
one of
who breathes air dies.
the- it kills
they woke
the
on
most.
that.
I mean, it kills the most people.
Is oxygen poisonous?
Everyone that's ever breathed it has died.
Yo, do you know that you can
Not
breathe
true.
liquid?
Has or will.
Yeah, has or will. There you go.
Do you know that you can breathe liquid, like the ambiotic fluid, like when you're like in your mom's stomach, you like breathe liquid, and you can, like, if you take a baby and you put it in oxygenated fluid, that baby can still breathe that. They did an experiment on a rat. They put a rat in this, I forget what it's called. It's like oxygen fluid.
Is that why babies float?
Yeah.
That always trips me out when those videos go viral of like people throwing babies into a pool. It's like, no. What?
That fucker can swim better than me.
Well, think about evolution. All the babies that sank didn't reproduce.
It's true.
Obviously, yeah.
Billy just explained evolution quite well right there.
That's like, it's like, why do they float? Because all the ones that sank died.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so technically babies are all witches.
Yes. Hello, Whitey. Whitey's nice and asleep here. We put him to sleep with this podcast.
Yeah.
His
he's
name's
chill.
Whitey.
Whitey Ford.
Yeah, his name. Yes, Arian's correct. Billy named his dog Whitey.
It's an old Irish Catholic gangster name. Like, it's great for a
Shitty fucking
bulldog.
name. Shitty fucking dog.
Okay, Arian.
Look, he's fucking with the camera. The dog's fucking with the camera.
No. The Maddie's fucking with the camera.
Obviously. Look at me in my face and say that, Arian.
Billy's really just trying to defend Whitey.
Always.
Chilling.
All right, we're going to do voicemails in a second. Before we do, they're brought to you by Sport Clips. Sport Clips Haircuts, expert stylists that will give you a champion cut that's guaranteed to impress. Sport Clips stylists are specifically trained in how to cut guys' hair. Next time you're in, ask for the MVP haircut experience, a champion haircut with neck and shoulder treatment, perfectly steamed, hot towel, and 7-point massaging shampoo. Neck and shoulder treatment not available in Washington or Oregon. Sport Clips is the ultimate haircutting experience. Not only will you love feeling great, but you're going to look fantastic too. Sport Clips, they are the pros in men's hair. I love Sport Clips. Getting the hot steam towel after your haircut, top 5 feeling. Top 5 feeling that you can have. It's great. I love the MVP haircut experience. Check it out. Get that massaging shampoo and the neck and shoulder treatment. Sport Clips, they are the pros in men's hair. All right, you want to do some voicemails?
Yep.
Oh, can we wrap up some time travel stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Empty the clip.
Ron Mallett. Ron Mallett is an physicist who's dedicated much of his adult life to the notion that time travel is possible. He's come up with the scientific equations and principles upon which he says a time machine could be created. While acknowledging that his theories and designs are unlikely to allow time travel in his lifetime, for years he's been working in parallel to a respected academic career to fulfill his dream of venturing back in time to see his beloved father. Basically, his father died of a heart attack when he was 10, and he devoted his whole life to trying to create a time machine. So, I mean, that's sort of his life work is time travel because
So how close
of
is
his
he?
father. Well, he adds all the theoretical equations that are required, but I think he gets into like the part where he needs like basically infinite energy and having to travel the speed of light, and that's what's the barrier.
That must be rough if he spent his entire life's work
Yeah.
and he's got it all figured out and then he realizes, oh shit, it's impossible.
I mean, it's really the thing about time machines is like, is it multiple universes or is it one timeline that can be manipulated? Because if I had a time machine, we never did the part where we talked about what we would do with a time machine. I would never go back too far to manipulate the future. I would like use it to go back like maybe like a month or like a day or like
Yeah, a day.
A week.
A day sounds reasonable.
Like, for example, like when I slipped down my stairs and like totally like destroyed my elbows and back one January morning when for the first time I fell like down like a huge flight of stairs that was all icy. I'd 100% travel the day before and put extra salt there, even though it's my landlord's responsibility, but I would do it because I wanted the rush of helping
the rest of your apartment. You could go back in time, change your bets.
Yeah. That's what Biff did in Back to the Future.
Sports Almanac.
He also went back in time and wrote Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
Or stole Johnny Be Good. Depending on which way you look at it.
Culture vulture.
Marvin Berry, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Back to the Future. I do like the idea of a time traveling car, though.
And that's too much. Like when you got booths as options, you got like
clickers.
You got remote controls. You have to get in the entire car. You have to find a strip. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot.
The clicker would be huge. Just like every minor inconvenience. Just.
But life would become dull. Like, you ever used to play that game Doom? Probably not. That's probably before Billy's time.
I know Doom.
But so playing Doom was awesome. But then you'd learn God mode, IDDQD, or unlimited ammo, IDKFA.
Yeah.
If the real ones out there know, you go IDDQD, you'd be invincible, and then the game wasn't that much fun anymore. You could beat the levels easily, but was it really worth it?
I figured out cheats in GTA, and ruined it for me.
Yeah.
GTA was awesome.
Like there is an unlimited ammo code that I can use in my flight simulator, and I don't use it because it's not fun. I like the idea that I have to play within the rules.
Huh. Okay, that reminds me. I got some Top Gun questions.
Okay, yeah.
Avery, please leave.
Yeah,
get
actually, you probably should earmuffs.
He's leaving.
Mad Dog.
Well,
Mad
this
Dog,
ain't
get out of
really. It ain't really spoilers. It's just movement questions.
Okay, yeah. Ask the movement
Should
questions.
Avery come back?
All right. I don't know. It's on y'all, but I'm gonna ask the question. All right. So when the enemy plane does the thing that makes Rooster go, "What the fuck was that?" Is that shit possible?
Yes. So
Holy
that
shit.
that is called thrust vectoring. And there are certain planes out there, Russian planes, that can do that. We have a plane in the U.S. called the F-22, which is a great, great aircraft. It's an awesome dogfighter. It's also pretty good, like really, really top of the line good at being stealthy. So you can't really spot it on radar. It's very, very tough for an enemy to pick it up on radar. It's pretty much the best plane that's ever existed. And we have that, but it can't do the same thing as those planes do, where they essentially put themselves into like a quick stall, and then they're able to like redirect the plane. They can brake super fast. So that's when you have the maneuver called the Cobra maneuver, which is what you see Tom Cruise do a couple times in the F-18. And it's implied that Tom Cruise is able to do it really well because he's just a better pilot than everybody. But the plane, the F-18, is not capable of doing that thing where he hits the brakes and then goes straight up in the air and lets the other plane pass by him. They exaggerate that a little bit. You can definitely slow down a little, but not to the point where it appears you're just like you're doing something that bends the laws of physics. But those, I think it was the Su-29, that plane can actually do that. And it's crazy. You can watch clips of it at air shows doing that maneuver. It's nuts. They call it the Cobra.
Billy, was all that true?
Now, why do the Russian actually? No, well, now I'm asking questions. Why do the Russian planes even have to do that? So the F-22 can't do that?
It can't really. It can come close to doing it, but not to the same extent.
But what advantage does that give? Because, for example, dogfights kind of aren't like, for example, if we had World War III, dogfighting wouldn't really be that big of a.
Correct.
So it's just like a pointless little thing that they can do.
Dogfight capabilities have gotten less and less important as modern warfare has evolved and everything's done BVR, beyond visual range. So it's more important that you have a plane like the F-22 that can track a plane 50 miles off in the distance and fire a missile at it without them ever even knowing that the F-22 is there.
Yeah.
So that's more important when it comes to like air-to-air combat.
Why do they use F-22? Why do they use F-18s in the mission and not F-22s?
Probably because the F-18 is still like pretty capable on air to ground missions as well as air to air, and the F-22 is more air to air. Yeah.
Or probably also the F-22s are too expensive to film.
That might
for the camera.
That might have something to do with it. F-22s and F-35s are like super, super expensive.
All right,
and
so
they said why they didn't use the F-35 in the new Top Gun in the mission briefing.
It's too big.
I forget what they were saying. They were talking about like the profile. I don't know. They gave like it was a half sentence explanation because they had to give a reason why they were.
I think it was the air to air versus air to.
Yeah, but there was some reason because the F-35 is pretty good air to ground too, but I forget the explanation that they gave for that.
Yeah. So nukes 100% ruin masculinity.
Go on.
Because like now that nukes are involved, like we're not going to war as much. Men aren't highly.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah, can't be heroes as much. They're not regarded.
There's less war.
Exactly.
You're making the argument that nuclear weapons are actually great for peace.
Yeah, terrible for maintaining masculinity.
That's too bad.
Just like that happened, then everything went out the window.
I'm okay with this trade-off.
What do you think about stunning your testicles? Have you gotten involved in that at all?
Well, have to nowadays because the nukes like took away all our masculinity.
Yep.
That was complete sad.
Next question. That fucked me up, Billy. God damn it. Yeah. Damn. It was a good one too.
Sorry.
What were we just talking about?
I've got another thing about the new Top Gun that was not accurate. At one point, they're fired upon by surface-to-air missiles. The surface-to-air missiles that they use in that movie, those are radar-guided. They're not heat-seeking missiles. So when you fire a radar-guided missile at a plane, the way that a pilot would get away from that, there are a couple ways that it can do that. But in a situation like that, where it's coming from a very close distance, the countermeasure that you would use would be the chaff, which would be the like tiny metal fragments or like the explosion of it's a cloud of metallic dust that would distract the radar of the missile. Now what they do is they shoot flares, and the flares, they look awesome on film, but the flares would not do anything. The flares are for use if you fire a missile at another plane that is attracted to heat and it's looking for like the fire coming out of the afterburners or the heat of the engine. That is the case where you would fire a flare and then turn, and then hopefully that missile would start to attack the flare that's in the sky.
Gotcha. And that was actually I remembered my question was that were the flares a real thing? Like I've never seen that before.
Yeah, they're a real thing. They're a real thing, but not for use. If you find yourself in a situation, Arian, where you're being fired upon by a surface-to-air missile that's radar-guided, if you fire a flare, it's not doing shit.
Tell me more.
No, hit the chaff, not the flare.
Got you. So it turns out they didn't use the F-35 because it's a one-seater, and to fulfill production requirements, they need someone else flying the plane and have the actor in the back seat with the cameras, and have an actual pilot in the front seat. So,
I think they also explained that with the laser guided system that they needed to use.
Yeah.
All right, is that it, Aaron? Can we get Avery back in here?
Avery, come back in. Or
wait.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no.
Go back. Go back. Sorry.
Hold on. Do you know why, like this whole Penny shit? Where did she come from?
Yeah. So Penny, because the first time I saw it, I was like, I love how they.
Spoiler alert! If you have not seen Top Gun, just earmuffs until like a minute and a half.
I'll try not to spoil it. It won't be anything that'll give away too much about the movie at all. But they mention it, and it flew under the radar when I first saw the movie, and I didn't really.
No pun intended.
There you go. And I didn't really pick up on it, but the second time I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. There's a line in there of, oh yeah, I haven't seen you since like you took me up in the F-18. We sold the F-18. We went on a date in that. They allude to Maverick banging one of the Admiral's daughters in Top Gun 1. That's supposed to be the daughter, is now his love interest in Top Gun Maverick.
Got you. Because I looked at why they ain't bring Charlie back, and she says because I look like what a 50-plus-year-old woman is supposed to look like. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And I Googled pictures, and she's correct.
She's right. Yes.
No.
She's right.
Yeah. I wouldn't. as much as I hate it, is that wouldn't play well in a Tom Cruise movie.
It would not. No, like
Yeah.
and that's Tom Cruise's fault too for looking like he's still 29 years old.
Although he got some Botox or some shit on his face. He looking a little plastic.
Yeah, it's the
That's
baby
what-
blood.
That shit kills me, bro. Like that's the worst thing that's ever happened to people. One of them is the Botox in the face. Like fam, like when you put that shit in, you can't smile. Like you like having a great time, and I can't tell. It's so fucking bad. I hate it. I hate it.
It gives you botulism. You're giving your face minor amounts of botulism.
Yeah, who thinks that's gonna make it? Like everyone, like I rather look old than.
Aging is beautiful. Aging is so beautiful, bro.
We know you like that.
Might definitely have a thing to do with my kink, but I'm talking about men too. Like dudes be dyeing their beards and dyeing their hair. I'm like, bro, you're aging. That's what's supposed to happen. Like what? Just let it be.
It's also different standards for guys than it is for girls, though. Like guys,
That's absolutely true.
when they age,
especially in Hollywood.
yeah, there'll be like a James Bond movie, and he's like 54 years old, and he's banging an 18-year-old.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, so why is Tom Cruise getting all that work done?
That's what I don't understand. Like aging is just such a dope part of life to me. Like I enjoy it. I embrace my aging. I encourage other people, but I get the reservation. Like I know a shorty who's like picks out every gray hair she sees. I'm like, bro, they're coming.
Yeah.
You can't stop that shit.
There's gonna be
They're
more of
coming.
them.
I promise.
All right, let's do voicemails. I hope there are more Top Gun questions in the voicemails.
Did you guys do a spoiler?
They did a
Not
spoiler.
Yeah,
Like a
did-
spoiler,
I didn't
like
re-
skip
Well, I
ahead?
told you to leave.
I didn't.
No,
really-
you told me to leave, but for people who are listening.
Well, you
Yeah, well,
played
that's
the
a-
part
that's a
of the
spoiler,
listener in
yeah.
that
That
equation.
last-
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But
Every leave.
But
Yeah,
also,
wow.
I don't think that we spoiled anything that's like would be considered a spoiler that would ruin any part of the movie.
Okay.
Nah. I've seen it 3 times and we didn't say anything. And I'm thinking about going to go see it again this week. It's that dope to me.
So-
To me, it's probably the best movie that's come out in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
in
it's so good.
theaters.
My friend that I was golfing with, Frankie, down in Nashville, when he went to go see it the first time, he saw it in 4DX, which is the seats that move, and there's like wind that sprays on you.
Shut up.
man.
That might be fire, bro.
Arian, when you come next week, you want to go see it with me?
Absolutely. Count me in. I'm going to be hella faded, but hell yeah.
We could go to the iPic theater where you can like eat and drink.
Oh yeah, like
During
the
the
nice
movie.
ones.
I'm down. What day so I know when to land?
Whatever, I don't care. I'm free.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we got breaking news. Billy's gonna be so mad.
What?
Billy's gonna be so mad,
Aaron
guys.
Donald?
Yeah, Aaron Donald just got a contract extension from the Los Angeles Rams,
Probably something
and
stupid.
he's gonna get $95 million over the next 3 years.
Oh my
Bad hips, though.
God.
Bad hips.
Bad hips.
The largest non-quarterback
Slow feet.
contract ever.
Slow feet.
Oh
Has
my
no feet.
God, that's so much money.
So he
Jesus
gets
Christ.
$65 million over the next 2 years.
Shout out to him, man.
That's
No,
like
that's amazing.
20 of those trucks we were looking at that.
So that's like how people experience time differently. John Wall will get that next year, and he won't even have to do anything.
No, that's more. That's 200.
We ain't talking about
million.
bad-
What the?
Basketball have monopoly money. That shit ain't even real. That shit crazy.
And listen, you
His
only got
signing
15
bonus.
players on the team.
Signing bonus
Thanks.
$25 million. 2022 base salary 1.5. 2022 roster bonus $5 million. 2023 roster bonus of $15 million, fully guaranteed. 2023 base salary of $13.5 million, guaranteed for injury at signing. That's incredible. And then in 2024, he gets a base salary of $30 million, again, fully guaranteed as of the 5th day of the league year. It would be paid with $20 million as an option bonus and $10 million as a base salary for cap purposes. That's incredible that he's getting $95 million over the next 3 years. That's bigger than Josh Allen. And now you have to start asking, when Patrick Mahomes got that like $500 million contract, is Patrick Mahomes the most underpaid athlete in the NFL?
I don't know about most. I think you could probably build the case. Didn't they try and tie it to the cap since the cap keeps going up, but they won't allow that or something?
I forget what the language was there, but I do know that he opted to like take this enormous amount of money for a long contract just to kind of get it out of the way because he likes Kansas City. But like even 3 years later, 2 years after he signed that, he's already underpaid compared to the other players at that position.
I remember the fucked up thing was they made it intentionally so that the first couple of years weren't that bad, and they still traded Tyreek Hill and refused to pay him. So what? Anyone not getting every dollar that they can is a moron. The salary cap isn't real. The Rams continue to prove that.
That's a great point. Like this is the Rams that we're talking about. They've just traded everybody for big contracts and they give everybody an extension. Draft picks aren't real. The salary cap is not. It's all. You know what it is? They're social constructs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, don't they just take money from the future? You know what's crazy?
The Saints have every offseason are like $160 million over the cap, and they always sign people.
Yeah, they've been in cap hell for 10 years. No such thing as cap hell.
I never understood it. I keep it a buck. I was under the cap. I still don't understand it.
These teams don't. Obviously, if the Rams can manipulate it to this level, you could make a case at least 26 people whose job is to control the cap don't know what they're doing.
I really feel like it's just like low-key leverage to be able to cut somebody and they have a good excuse.
It's wage suppression. That's all. It's wage suppression.
I like your sports takes. All of them except for the Celtics. Facts. Oh, and the Patriots.
You definitely hate my Patriots takes. Come on.
That's what I said. I snuck it in right before you said that.
And you can bond over the Red Sox. That's about it.
As long as we getting faded at the game, let's do it. I'm a free agent of baseball.
All right, voicemails.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? This is Max from York, Pennsylvania. Me and my fiance were talking about weird food combinations, and we know PFT likes to eat Oreos dipped in water. She wanted to know if that's ice-cold water or what type of water, what temperature of water most specifically. But what other weird food combinations do you guys like? Big listeners of the show, love the show. Mad Dog Arian, stay beautiful. Billy, stay sexy as hell. Everybody else, stay gorgeous. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I don't like to eat Oreos dipped in
If this
water.
guy was a big listener, he'd know it's me.
Avery likes it.
Time out. When did Billy get the sexy joint? I thought it was just the gorgeous.
I was just that
Look,
guy.
some people earn it. Some people earn it. You know,
I just thought maybe I missed something where it's like start calling me sexy, but I do just think you're sexy, I guess. That's what's up.
Sexy Bill. Avery likes Oreos and water. Hank most famously likes Oreos and water. I gave him an Oreo that was dipped in water during the Celtics game in game 1. And after he got the Oreo and water, the Celtics went on a 54-28 run and won the game in the second half. So,
where the fuck were you game 2?
Yeah, I was out of Oreos. There were no Oreos here. I'm gonna FaceTime Hank real quick. Macrodosians will love Hank's return. They always love Hank. They always say very nice things to him on Twitter. So I'm gonna ask him what his recipe is.
I thought it was warm water because I remember a shower.
Yeah, room
Yeah,
temperature.
Barney Mush
room
likes
temperature.
it in the shower.
oh,
Yeah.
whatever that guy.
Oh, it's after 5. Hank's working man's on the train back home, suitcase in hand.
He's 9 to 5 guy now.
He's punching that
Trench coat
clock.
and
Yeah.
His afternoon newspaper.
Wow, Hank. That's disturbing.
I got a weird one. Maybe it's not that weird. But one time I went to Germany.
So far, weird.
Oh, my first baby mom was from there. And they out there, they eat French fries dipped in mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's big.
And
I
and
like
at
that.
first I was like, what the fuck is this? But I tried it and I was like, yo, that shit kind of
pretty good.
go. This is what it kind of goes. Yeah.
They
Especially
have
the flavored mayonnaise is over there are good too.
I didn't check for that.
they have a new cereal that's meant to be like, you know how people are always like, oh, toothpaste and orange juice. They've tried to combat that. So you pour orange juice into the cereal, not milk. I will not be trying it.
Nah, I don't think I could do that one.
Wait, what's the logic behind that?
Okay.
It's like the morning you brush your teeth, you go have cereal, you drink orange juice, but it doesn't quite taste right. So I think they've cut out the milk. The cereal is supposed to be good with orange juice and whatever your morning routine tastes like.
That seems like a
okay.
major solution to a very minor problem.
Correct. Yeah, these people could have been cured to several diseases. And they were like, no, we've got to get on the orange juice in the morning.
I mean, it's obvious you brush your teeth after breakfast. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what everyone does, right?
You'd think. I don't eat breakfast anymore.
Yeah, I don't really eat breakfast like that.
Why would you brush beforehand? Everything's going to taste a little bit weird, and then you have to rebrush because you get food in your teeth.
Yeah.
Or you could just pour orange juice in your cereal and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a 2022 modern man.
psycho.
I got another combination that's not necessarily, it's not like a combo, but it's just but like not pizza too, actually. Then I said it. Pizza and fried chicken tastes better the next day cold.
Pizza definitely
Right.
does.
Pizza, yeah.
Try that shit.
Sometimes
Just cold though.
with the fried
Cold.
chicken though, it can get soggy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I like the
breading.
chicken take.
The breading and the skin can get
I
soggy.
mean, how is it getting soggy? What is it? What do you?
I agree
what
with
do
you.
you?
It's like the grease
do you
gets
rest-
it soggy.
Yeah, the grease. It's not as hot and crisp anymore.
No, I
The
get
soggy. I understand cold, but soggy's.
it doesn't get soggy.
I'm on PFT.
No, dude, it's actually great because the grease congeals and you end up getting more grease when you bite into it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not the
Yeah.
grease that's getting the soggy. Y'all are putting it in something else. I don't. How
This is the Kool-Aid conversation.
grease? But I'm saying no. Grease actually like it becomes solid once it gets cold.
It's
so
like
how's it?
buttered.
I don't know. I just feel like I've had fried chicken the next day, and it's like it's wet. It's like
That might have been how it was
Soft.
cooked. I don't.
don't start with that. Don't start with
I
that.
don't. I don't, bro. I'm genuinely curious. This is not even me clowning. How is it soggy?
Mimi made the best fried chicken in the world. It was delicious. It had extra protein. You could not draw up a better drumstick of fried chicken than Mimi was able to fry. And we ate that the second it was even possible to bite into it. You wanted it hot. You wanted it fresh. You don't wait till the next day. I just think that the integrity of the breading doesn't always hold up as well the next day. That's all I'm saying.
I'm skeptical, but I will concede your point, brother.
I'll try it. I'll try it again because you seem very passionate about this. Next day fried
Cold-
chicken. I'll give it a
cold
shot.
Chicken fire, yes.
I love cheese and chocolate together.
Ugh.
Ugh.
That's not that crazy.
That was like I shouldn't have said
I
that.
know.
I haven't heard of that, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Is now that I'm thinking about
specifically goldfish and chocolate chips.
it. You lost me right there.
I was thinking
That's-
like a
That's
board.
like actually like dark chocolate. Yeah, with like maybe some like pepper jack square.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean that too.
You
That
threw me
too,
off with
but that-
goldfish and fucking what?
It's Hershey's Kisses. It was a wild scene.
Yeah, it's just like random. Those barely have. There's less chocolate in chocolate chips than
and less cheese and goldfish.
and
But,
less cheese and goldfish. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
It's
but like if I
That
were,
was just sugar and other sugar.
yeah,
but if I were to tell
starch.
you like if I were to tell you like some decadent Ghirardelli dark chocolate and a piece of like nice cheese, yeah, that makes more sense. That works too.
that's-
But I'm telling
that's
you,
what I was thinking.
that's how
You went the
that's how far
went the-
I'm willing to go is goldfish and some
went
ice
the
cream
Lunchable
chocolate
route.
chicks. Yeah, really, like an adult Lunchable. Love it.
People give me hell for this, and we're on a pretty scientific forward show right now. So hopefully you guys will see the vision. I'm a big, and this has been since I was a kid, pasta and milk guy, like red sauce and milk. That's just you're just canceling out acids and bases right there. You're getting a net zero. That's how you cruise.
No, that is
Do you drink?
disgusting.
Will you drink the milk and eat the pasta? Where's the milk going?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you cooking?
No, yeah,
Pasta.
as a beverage. No, as a beverage on the side. You're not mixing it together.
I just hate
Hell-
milk.
hell-
Oh no, dude,
hell no.
milk. I literally will go if I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
drinking. I'll go to restaurants and order milk.
That's
That's
you are an
a bridge
adult,
too far.
Billy.
Yeah, that's
You
They
are an
serve that?
adult.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I mean-
restaurants have milk
That's what Jim Harbaugh
you got
does.
that on the menu.
to drink.
That's off menu.
yeah. I mean, if I go to if I'm getting a bang up breakfast, I'm getting milk,
God.
but I'm also getting unlimited
What?
coffee because I just feel like whenever I'm at those restaurant places, I need to drink as much coffee as I can because it's
So you just
refilled
got
for
a cup of coffee and a glass of milk chilling by each other like they in the
White
same
milk?
atmosphere.
White milk.
Not chocolate milk.
Yeah, I'm
chocolate-
typically going chocolate.
I
milk
would-
here.
If
I've
I'm at a
actually
restaurant-
I've
yeah.
cut out the chocolate milk. I can't afford those calories anymore.
Oh.
Back in the day, I used to chug chocolate milk. all the
What
time.
kind of milk? Like whole 2%
You're
skim?
What do they got?
22.
Whole?
What are you talking about?
I've
bro?
been put on weight lately. I gotta-
Billy, you're an adult. Why are you ordering milk at a restaurant?
Also, how many calories difference is it making, like going whole milk instead of chocolate milk?
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty close.
If you
Well,
did
like,
like
mix
a,
Wait, you're talking about a diner?
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I thought you were
no-
talking about like going out to like a restaurant ordering
Well,
milk.
that
sometimes
is
at a
what he said.
steakhouse.
Oh no, that's
did
weird.
you just say you
lost me
order
there.
milk at a steakhouse?
Well, it depends. Like
That's what
Steak
Jim
and
Harbaugh
milk?
does. Jim
Oh my
Harbaugh
God.
gets a big glass
Baby.
of milk.
Billy,
You lost me there.
do they
Milk
serve it
and
in like
steak?
a real glass,
they
or do they
serve
give you
it in
a kid's
pint
cup?
glass.
Oh my god!
It's like the same.
The
That's
sippy
what's
cup.
wild. Is like
Billy still gets crayons when he sits down.
I'm gonna tell you that's something we should maybe talk about bringing back.
Yeah, because they're all on iPads. All the little
No,
kids.
I'm talking about for adults.
Oh.
I would color some shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
they have,
okay.
they have adult
Not a
coloring
bad-
books.
Yeah, they sure do.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
therapy
I've
books.
seen those, but like at my grandparents' church when I was a kid, they'd give the kids like a little thing to color, and I was like, this is awesome. And then I got to be like, 9, 10, 11, like where they'd stop giving it to you. It's like, no, I want that. Please continue to give it to me. And I would go get it today if I was in Missouri.
Yeah, they're fun. Like I enjoy coloring too.
I might need an adult coloring book.
Let's get you one.
I'm looking at it right now.
Billy,
yeah, the steak and milk thing.
if you're ordering at a diner, it's a little bit
You know-
more acceptable.
you know
At a
what's-
steakhouse,
well, you know what's my new dessert?
that's an ick, Billy.
Milk.
I'm not looking for your ick.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
not
just
looking
telling
to
you.
not make your ick list.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
No, that was
aggressive.
very aggressive. I was more just saying, like, don't you ick
I'm
me?
just-
This is
I'm
where
just
Billy gets freaked out when he talks to girls.
Yes.
Just saying in general.
I'm not looking for your ick list.
If a man ordered milk at a steakhouse, I don't think I'd be going.
No,
that
but
way.
my new favorite dessert is I eat deli meats and milk.
Oh my god,
That's my dessert. It's
You
'cause-
dip it in there?
no,
how's that dessert?
Do you know what dessert is, or are you just talking about a snack?
post meal snack?
Dessert. Listen, dessert is a social construct.
Yeah,
PFT.
That's
Yeah.
that's
no,
very
because I was
true.
because there's you can order cookies where I live, like hot, like big cookies.
You can order cookies almost
But, like,
You know,
everywhere.
it's a New York thing.
It's a-
Very accessible.
You move to the city. That's one of the things about New
No,
York.
but,
You
like,
don't
it's
get
just-
that
Well, he
anywhere
said
else
where
in
I live, like we also couldn't do that.
right, but like a lot of people can't. But like this was a new phenomenon. So I didn't go to a college that like had late
Like an
night
insomnia?
food.
We
yeah,
also didn't have like a college that had food to be delivered. You probably had like one pizza place.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like all this like being in a city, like being able to eat food late at night, like I've been going nuts.
You grew up here, Billy.
No, but like in college, like the whole like being
You
up
were 7
that late.
going to Times Square, the theater.
Yeah, no, but like the munchies aspect. Like when did you guys really start?
Broadway
eating?
Bill.
You was buying your own tickets in your trench coat, but couldn't go get a fucking slice of pizza on the way.
No,
Dog.
but like the ability to order on your phone, right?
Okay, yeah,
that's what I'm
college
saying.
for me.
Like, yeah, the ability to just like get something instantaneously sent to you is a sort of a newer thing, right?
I
Like
forgot
something-
about that whole shit.
One of the
3D avatar tickets, please, sir.
The picture somebody tweeted us of him standing in Times Square with his head on just a little kid's body is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Crisp 20 across.
That was a very mature young child. Billy's right though. Like the idea
Oh,
of
shit.
like app-based food deliveries is relatively recent.
Yeah, so you could just smash like it's just instant food. So when I first moved in, I literally ate so much food and I was eating so many insomnia cookies. And then I was like, this is too expensive. I need to start making my own giant cookies at home. And it was just a
remember
whole,
that.
yeah.
The big cookies.
Liz, speaking of this, I'll be a Democrat again for a second. We got to regulate the food delivery fee market.
Yeah.
This shit's getting out of control, and I'm fed up with it.
Yeah.
Do you know how
Talk
deep
to
this
us.
goes?
I'm sure very deep.
Have you ever checked the prices on one of these apps and then on the restaurant's actual website?
Oh my
Brother,
God, Chick-fil-A.
I ordered Chick-fil-A to my apartment the other day. May as well have just bought a boat. I mean, it cost me $50 for me and my girlfriend to get food that if you went to a Chick-fil-A in Georgia, it would have cost you $18.
Yeah.
A firm handshake.
It is ridiculous because they've got.
And they would have typed in the employee discount code for you just because they wanted to be nice. So actually would have been like 13.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous because you pay the jacked up prices, like Coley said. Then you pay the service fee. Mm-hmm. Then you pay the delivery fee. And guess what? That's not even the tip. The delivery fee also goes to Seamless for providing the service of delivery. So, and then after that, you got a tip. And so before you know it, you're looking at what should be, if you're doing an individual Chick-fil-A meal, which I do from time to time here at the office, probably like, you spend $10
Year 12 to 15.
It's close to double what you would be paying if you just went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you end up paying about $30 to get it delivered.
Now, have you guys ever tried to feed a baby lately?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Coley has.
That formula.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
Yeah.
Make your own.
No, my kids are eating regular food now.
Make your own.
You know what this crosses my mind more often than not. I don't think you get more value per cent than mailing a letter. Like if I mailed Arian a letter, that's going to cost what's a stamp right now? Like 48 cents, something like that.
The Nancy Reagan stamp just came out for
Go.
Imagine if I told you how insane it would be if I was like, hey, PFT, can you deliver this letter to Arian for me? You'd be like, you need to pay me thousands of dollars. They do that for less than $1. I'd be hard pressed to see a better deal than that.
Well, there's a lot. It's a lot more wholesale.
You can send a text. It's probably cheaper.
For sure. Would it be? What's your phone bill a month?
I don't even know, bro.
Honestly, enough that every text I'm sending is way less than 48 cents.
More likely. Arian's probably paying like $3,000. He has no idea.
It's very possible.
Metro PCS is ripping them off.
Arian, what does a gallon of milk cost these days? You keeping up with that?
I don't drink milk.
Okay, I was just. Do you have any idea what household items cost?
I just on a delivery app ordered some Glade plugins.
This guy's got no clue.
They was about $4. I don't know, but I don't know what the going rate is, so I don't know if I'm getting robbed or not.
How much Arian, how much is a beer?
$5? $5?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on where you're getting it.
Yeah. That's my own personal consumer price indexing of an Arian.
Well, also Arian's a wine guy.
That's your S&P.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so a beer in New York City, sometimes $8, $7, maybe even $9.
Yeah.
Beer in Hoboken, $4, $5.
What is it at Yankee Stadium right now?
18.
I paid.
Those big ones.
I went to City Field 2 weeks
for one
ago.
beer?
Yeah, but
Now,
24
it's
ounces.
a 24 ounce, but yeah, they're like $17.50.
Oh.
Which
See, I don't even
actually,
know beer like
given
that.
that it's 24 ounces, is about what you'd pay in New York City anyway.
Yeah.
Is it actually 24 ounces of beer though, or is it a little watered down?
No.
Well, they're cans.
If it's
Apologies.
I remember when I was out the loop, my sister had came down, and this is years ago. It's probably like 2015, 14, something like she had came down. And we pulled. This is when I had a gas car, and we pulled up to the gas station. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy! Gas is so cheap out here." And I had not even thought about gas prices. 6 years. I had never even thought about what I was putting in my tank. It was just I pull up, I put my card in, and I take it out. I just never even kind of look at the prices. That's wild.
Yeah. Mad Dog.
Another
Voicemails?
voicemail? Yep.
Hi, this is Anthony from Atlanta. Big fan of the show. I'm calling my questions for everybody. Billy would probably like it the most. If you had to pick between a full-grown saltwater croc, tiger, silverback gorilla, or rhino to be stuck in a 1,500 square foot apartment with no windows or exit doors
and no doors separating the room, and you had to survive 24 hours within that apartment with that animal, which one would you choose for the best chance of survival? Everybody stay handsome. Maddie, Arian, stay gorgeous. Have a great day.
Rhino, easy.
What were the two? He's a saltwater croc.
Saltwater croc, rhino, silverback gorilla, and a tiger.
Billy's never been wronger about anything else besides that. Like the rhino,
Yeah.
the giant rhino.
That could just ram into you.
The rhino is a herbivore, one, so won't get hungry and try to eat you. Maybe the saltwater croc if you set the apartment really, really cold. So, because all those alligator wrestling stuff
Don't
they
they
do.
have just like the little like nerves that if you just hit it
Yeah,
wrong?
but if you but
Keep it
like,
like an ice truck.
yeah, they keep them like an ice truck because they're cold blooded and they can't do shit if it's cold. So if I have access to the AC unit with the saltwater croc, I'm cooling that shit down using my mammalian privilege as a warm blooded creature. That's why we outlasted the dinosaurs. I'm using that against the croc. But rhino, you just don't make any big movements. The rhino's not going to try to eat you. You just don't spook the rhino. It's a herbivore, and they have terrible eyesight. So if you don't move, they probably can't see. Actually, I don't know if their motion sense.
Like a T-Rex.
Yeah, wait, rhino vision. Let me.
What if I can't control when I'm going to sneeze? What if that's all it takes to spook them?
Right, but I just stay out of their line of sight. I'd stay behind them.
But rhinos charge all the time. They get
But
very
it's
aggressive.
15. It's
Are
a
they-
famous for
1500.
charging. Famous
It's
for
a
charging.
1,500 square foot apartment. They might not be able to turn around.
You want to talk about an animal with no turning radius? The saltwater crocodile.
Yeah, but that can still get you.
That's the correct answer. First of all, you're on land. You're not in a. They can't really do the death roll on you.
That motherfucker's fast, bro.
Yeah, dude, they're faster than you think.
I think that a rhino is
what?
probably faster than you think
No.
too. Listen, there
Yeah,
are
but-
none of these is an ideal living situation. They
I'm a
wouldn't
Billy.
make
This is what I
great
tell you.
roommates.
Crocodiles
I was-
speed on land. They
That's why
can
I'm with
run
Billy.
22. Nile crocodiles can. Oh, saltwater crocodile.
I'm with Billy. This is why. That's why
Yeah,
I'm with Billy,
22 miles per hour.
You
crocs can run.
you olay the rhino, right?
Yeah.
You olay that motherfucker. He puts a hole in the wall. Now you got an escape route. I'm with Billy.
Exactly.
I'm not fucking with the gorilla. I'm not fucking with the croc.
gorilla's gonna kill you.
That's a good strategy. The rhinos they go 34 miles per hour.
I know, but
Yeah.
where's it running? You're in a tiny apartment.
This is the Aaron Donald argument all over again.
I'm
You
a
say
dead
move
leggy.
laterally.
You
He's got a
might-
knife on his
legging.
face.
You might be able to like.
Dead leg that motherfucker.
So I was actually don't ask me why, but I was cow tipping over the weekend.
Okay, does it really matter
No,
why?
we have to ask you why now.
It's just
Like that's the thing. It's like there's no like worse incriminating thing that you can say of the explanation why you were cow tipping. You just admitted to the bad part.
How many whys could there be?
Don't ask me
I
why.
think it's because Billy wanted to go cow tipping.
Right.
I think that's probably the why.
You don't like accidentally end up like there's only so many whys to that end point.
You know,
There
there's
aren't a lot of roads that lead to cow tipping.
Did you actually end up tipping them over?
well, so here's the thing. They're really, really so cows, right? So like you could get up to a cow and start petting it and they were chill. And like even some of the bulls were even chill and you could pet them. Like I have a feeling that the rhino might be a little more aggressive than that, but there's a chance you get over there, start petting that rhino right where it's got little itches, scratch that itch, and that thing's a goddamn giant teddy bear.
2 seconds ago it was don't move for 24 hours so they can't see you. Now you're petting them?
Yeah, they might vibe with that.
Why? That you could say that about any of them.
Right, but like no, not all of them because some of them will get hungry. A rhino, I could see a rhino being an animal that like likes to get pet and then just chilling out. If you're not a threat to it, it's not trying to mess with you. Unless it was like a rhino in musk. Well, I don't know if rhinos have musk. Only elephants. I know elephants have musk, but that's something.
Rhinos don't attack humans on purpose. They usually only attack humans if they feel scared, startled, or cornered. Black rhinos are most likely to charge racist.
Yeah.
But
They also get.
It's like the turtle.
They're
and the
more
shoes
endangered.
again.
hey, yo, people keep sending me videos of turtles being fucking racist, and it's the funniest shit in the world.
Okay, listen, Billy. your take on the rhino, I think
I can't believe you said I was so wrong. They don't even attack people unless
there's some
startled.
They do attack people. It depends on the type of rhino, and they will charge if they feel
Right.
threatened.
Exactly.
The chances of a rhino feeling threatened are pretty high. You could also say like a gorilla could be chill too. I've seen videos where gorillas will just like go up and start petting a human.
Oh, didn't we
being.
watch that video?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
what-
like gorillas.
I'm
I feel like
straight.
you could
No, dude,
reason with
it's-
the
No, but gorillas. But no. Do you want
Listen, man, I got a lot of money riding on this.
Excuse
Just relax.
me, Mr. Silverback.
Do you know that you can't look gorillas straight in the eye? That means that you want to fight them.
Well, I don't make eye
you always
contact
have
anyways.
to. You always have to look at gorillas sideways because if you look at them straight on,
That's how Harambe happened.
Is it really?
No, I don't know. The kid probably made eye contact.
there's a gorilla in the Netherlands or somewhere in Europe where they give everyone glasses with eyes looking the other way so that if you look, you're not staring directly in the gorilla's eyes. Because
Why in the Netherlands? What's going on in the Netherlands?
well, they yeah.
Now that PFT brings up Harambe, that kid was fine. That gorilla had no intentions of doing anything.
Right, that
Yeah, I
kid
was
is
going with
fucking
gorilla
lit.
easy. Like what? So tiger can eat you. Rhino, as Coley said, has a knife on its face. Crocodile for sure, just eat you alive. Gorilla, like what's gonna try to beat you up?
Have you ever
Just
seen
trying to like
gorillas
beat it
fight?
up back.
Are you gonna try to beat
Big T, that would be an unwise plan of attack.
I'm on Big T's side here.
I think.
No, I mean, I
actually
oh,
think.
let's fight. Let's fight. That's the best chance you have by far.
Are you
out of those
kidding?
options.
Oh,
Yo,
I
I
think so.
I'm
We
taking that
don't know how
crocodile's tail
strong gorillas
like Petey
are.
Pablo.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm saying it's a lot
Dude,
easier than
Mike Tyson.
than fighting your way out of a crocodile's mouth.
We were debating Mike Tyson fighting a gorilla because Mike Tyson offered a zookeeper $10,000 to let him get inside the enclosure and fight the gorilla. And they wouldn't let him. And like part of me was like, out of anyone on earth who could beat a gorilla, Mike Tyson might have a chance. None of us have a chance to get a gorilla.
But,
I think
but
we
we're
have
not
the-
saying we have
And you
to
think
fight
you have a
it.
chance against a tiger?
Yeah.
No,
Or
no,
a
I'm saying
rhino,
you.
or-
I'm saying you have a
we
chance.
all respect the tiger. No one's picking.
No, no
tiger.
one's fucking with the tiger.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't trust
I like
cats.
cats. Yeah,
Yeah.
cats are so unpredictable.
I think
Yeah.
that the gorilla death would actually be the most painful death.
Yes,
Because you're
because-
getting like ripped limb from
He
limb,
would just
probably.
he would just pummel you. You would just be hit with a barrage.
How
of
many
giant fists?
How many punches has a gorilla taken? Because I feel like he takes
This
a
was
few
my-
good shots and he might respect you.
this was my exact argument.
You know, everybody talks about how big and bad the gorilla is. He's beating up little fucking chipmunks. Who's punched back?
No, I
That's what I
actually-
want to know.
Bad schedule. He's
Other
playing.
gorillas.
He's playing the AFC South. No
No.
disrespect, but he gets to play the Texans and the Jaguars twice a year.
this was
it wasn't my fault.
This was my exact argument for Mike Tyson. Like a gorilla is never taking a punch from Mike Tyson. Like who knows if they have a glass jaw or not.
They have
But
a
gorillas,
counter strike.
but gorillas will absolutely beat the hell out of you.
The gorilla Cincinnati ran through the American, and now let's see it get to the college football playoffs. See what happens.
Look, check out this gorilla fight.
in this analogy, for the record, Big T is Alabama.
That's correct.
He's the Alabama football.
That's correct. I was born at the top of the food chain.
No, the gorilla. Okay, check out this gorilla fight video I just sent you.
I feel like the croc is. I'm going
Oh,
with
that's
the
the
croc.
wrong video.
That was just wait. There's first of all, I was about to compliment Billy on the speed with which he just accessed one of his favorite gorilla fight videos, and then it turns out he's got multiple gorilla fight videos.
Yeah, no, this
ready to
is-
send out. at any
Well, there's
given
the
time.
there's the creme de la creme Carl Anthony Towns gorilla fight video that I didn't. This one's a mid gorilla fight video.
I'd kick this guy in the teeth.
No, dude, are you kidding me?
Now I want to see it. Can we fly Big T to Russia and have him fight a gorilla?
There's a number. It's too high.
Oh yeah,
But,
where's the
there's a
zookeeper?
number.
This is the creme de la creme gorilla fight video. The second one I sent.
You would get your ass whopped.
This one's the where's the zookeepers. That was my exact argument, Big T, about Mike Tyson versus the gorilla. But no offense, you're not Mike Tyson.
Buddy,
no
I-
offense, you're not Mike Tyson.
These guys got nothing.
Dude,
I think
watch this video.
that's an insultingly low number for the zookeeper. Like, hey, do you want to get fired and probably never work again as a zookeeper for $10,000 from Mike Tyson?
Turns out
Yeah,
that's
what's best case scenario for that zookeeper? Like it's a draw. Like they both just, like one of them's either dying and it's probably gonna be Mike Tyson, or they just fight it out and like pound fists after. Like I don't know what the best case scenario is there.
Yeah.
Why would they put two silverbacks in the same cage with each other?
I think they might be brothers.
I gotta tell you, this guy picked up a little speed coming downhill. That's
Yeah.
slightly concerning.
Yeah,
We're not
no.
going downhill. We're in an apartment.
Yeah, but he's got some power behind those. Well, I'm still betting on myself, but
That's right.
Nah, give me the rhino, dog.
Big T minus
Yeah,
6.5.
I think best case scenario if you're the zookeeper is the people demand a rematch. It becomes like a trilogy of Tyson. Like it's a good fight, maybe not one clear winner, and then you get to sell the rematch, and that's where you make the money in the pay-per-view.
I will jerk that rhino off.
Okay, Billy.
That I mean, that would pacify it.
Oh my God, yeah, Big T, these guys would destroy you.
I'll take my
That'll be
chances.
tough. That'll be tough to watch.
How much was the money again? I didn't even
Let
remember.
me get all your Tennessee gear.
I didn't know if there was money attached to it.
Oh, hey,
Hell no, it's going to someone that'll appreciate that shit.
Back.
I think I would take the saltwater croc and I would simply leap over it when it was approaching me.
dude, that thing would.
Yeah, I'll stand on a table.
You know
I'm
how
fine.
Nobody.
big you know how high those things can jump out of the water and jump in.
But there's no water.
I know,
No
but
water.
Yeah, but that makes it easier for them to jump.
I don't think that I do not believe
think
that
they
a
do.
saltwater croc can leap.
I
I think their legs are too
I
small.
think they can go. "Ooh."
I mean, the croc would be easy. You
Yeah,
just
they like
turn up the AC if that was a thing, but I don't think that's going to be a thing.
It's an apartment. It might be.
Is it? Well, it's got central
Yeah,
air.
if it's a New York apartment and Rhino here's
I love how Billy's reasoning of whether or not you could defeat a saltwater crocodile is, does the apartment have central air conditioner or is it a window unit?
I mean, the window unit would be harder to get that place cold. Central.
How many BTUs are we talking about? We talking about 12,000 BTU
Look,
window unit? No,
I need some
you're gonna
HVAC
need
time.
you're gonna need 14,000 minimum.
I mean, you got to get that thing down to at least, if you could, like low 50s.
Yeah, I think that's even too warm.
I'm standing on a table, and if worse comes to worse, I'm laying on top of them.
I mean, the thing is about crocs and alligators is that they have tons of muscles to close their mouth, but the muscles to open
Can't
their
open
mouth are kind of fucking weak. Fuck, I'm talking myself into
Right,
less
so-
than a saltwater crocodile.
So yeah. I'm talking myself into it too. Most crocodiles can achieve 12 to 14. It's like 17 miles an hour. Says crocodile specialist, which is slower than a fit human can run. So if you're in reasonable shape, you can definitely outrun a croc. So maybe if I get a dumb one, I can run around in a circle. And plus, they
Yeah,
can't.
serpentine.
No, but
Yeah,
the
they
thing
kinda-
is, have you ever seen those videos of the alligators knocking out cops?
Yeah.
Like with their tails, because the
Nope.
cops come to pick them up and just they hit them with the tail and knock out these cops. I mean, alligators are definitely a cab, but they're just knocking out cops like left and right.
All right. Yeah, I think we've reached. I think the silverback gorilla is an insane one to pick. I think you could convince me rhino though. Like there's some reasoning behind the rhino that I could maybe get behind, but it would just all involve you basically hypnotizing the rhino with scratches.
Jerking them off.
Yeah. All right, Mad
Okay,
Dog.
Last one.
Hey, Whitey.
Hey, Macrodosing crew. This is Phil from Knoxville, Tennessee. You guys have been talking a lot about what if we're living in a simulation, especially PFT talking about if everything ended in 2016 and everything from there on has been a simulation. Along those lines, what do you think the plot line is of the simulation? Like, who do you think created it? And for me, as soon as I watched Clay Travis's video getting thrown out of his kid's baseball game, I immediately thought of Randy Marsh getting kicked out in South Park. So I think we're in a South Park simulation. So along those lines, who do you think is writing, or what simulation do you think we're in? Love the pod. Everyone stay gorgeous, stay handsome. Love you guys.
George R.R. Martin.
Just didn't finish it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's why it's still going.
Yeah. Like the most underwhelming end of all time was scientists opened up a black hole. That's the equivalent of like when you have a TV show where the final episode is you wake up from a dream and everything that happened was a dream.
Yeah, that's pretty. I hate that.
It's not Wes Anderson. There's not enough dioramas.
I think it's just some alien civilization that like gives its constituents free will within the physics of the universe it created and just let go. Says, watch this shit. This is hilarious.
It's probably a super nerd. It's got to be a super nerd, right?
It's
Like
definitely God.
God? Which God?
I don't know. There's definitely some force of not a being or an individual, but some force that's causing all of this to happen.
Oh yeah, there's definitely one.
Yeah, I mean, like something caused, like something. There is like, you know, intelligent design to all this.
There you have it. Mystery solved.
What if we're just existing in like a sports video game and we're just all this like stuff that goes on in that game?
Like somebody's playing The Sims right now.
No, someone's playing Madden on Ultimate Mode, and we are part of Like we're just part of Madden.
So Madden expands to not only have like
Yeah.
the players, but it also has like football fans and their lives.
I mean, we were all prospects at one point. We just had shitty. They didn't buy enough VC. Arian got a good player.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. It's like, yeah, that's actually not a bad theory, Billy.
and like there's so many people in those crowds in the Madden games. Like they have stories.
Arian got
Yeah.
a streamer who spent $700 on the game to have every card fully loaded,
Yeah, you.
every attribute.
That's funny. That is funny.
I don't know if there's someone behind it. If we're in a simulation, but will there have to be that like created it?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of like minus the simulation part? Like, isn't that what people think God is?
Yeah.
Did I just wait?
Yeah, but this is Gamer God.
This is gamer guy. What if it is John Madden? What if he designed the video game to become so realistic
He's an appropriate God.
that yeah, dude,
I would have John Madden be my God.
you could do a lot worse than having John Madden as your god.
Hail Madden.
Yeah, I respect Madden.
like,
You go to church every Sunday. It's a holy day.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
John Madden is God.
Are college football fans Jewish in this?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like they're
They
cool.
celebrate on Saturdays.
Yeah, they're cool too.
It's pretty much the same. We just believe in a little bit. We take a little different turn at the end.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what? I hate college football. Man.
That's Jewish joke number 2, Coley.
What was the other one?
It's the one you told that the comedian told
Oh yeah,
that we all reluctantly laughed at.
it wasn't my joke. I don't care.
I got you.
What?
I don't.
You really struggling with this, Maddie? You all right?
Yeah, because now I'm thinking about like that's
Figured out
just
religion.
God.
Madden.
It's a heavy thing.
Yo, can you get into a Madden game? They should definitely have like you
Like
know how in
sports
NBA
media?
Podcasters.
No, but you know how in NBA 2K they have like the superstar mode and they like have like cool like celebrities in the game.
One of my favorite things, this used to be in Madden, where you could go on to like a local sports talk show and you could like trash your team and your GM and your coach, and it would like get you closer to getting a trade from your team. But it was like, do you want to become petulant?
While the graphics in video games have increased dramatically, like the things in them have decreased.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do all sorts of cool shit that just doesn't exist now.
There should be like GTA mode for Madden.
Yeah.
Where like you can go out and you can start like, who was it, Nate Newton that was selling 300. He got caught multiple times with like 400 pounds of marijuana.
That was
in his
Blitz
car.
the League. That game existed.
And you could do that?
You could do like get prostitutes and all sorts of shit. And then on the weekends you would go play football. It was the greatest game ever made. And
Wait, what?
Yeah, Blitz the League.
They got to include all those other storylines for sure. Like how awesome, like the problem I have with Madden, Big T's right. There's not enough like auxiliary stuff you can do around the game. You maybe start your own podcast.
But like
go on Pat McAfee's show every Monday. That should be an option.
no, but
What about
like you should be in the game, like as like like one of the people going on part of my take in the Madden game.
I would accept.
I'm sure you get that done.
They'd scan you in,
I would accept that offer.
and maybe
I'm sure you can get that
scanned in too. That'd be really cool.
One of my favorite things to do in the world, bro, is like playing story mode on like an NBA game or the 2K, and just like making it him as realistic as possible, and just like building him up and like having my own little superstar in this little world. Like I love doing it. For some reason, like he's scoring 70 a night and shit, and it just makes me happy for some reason. I don't know. What is that?
You created.
That's how the rest of people feel that didn't also play in the NFL.
Got you. Okay, so unless I'm not alone, I don't really know because I don't really. You know what I mean? We all play 2K, but we don't ever discuss our,
Builds.
Yeah, your builder players.
See, I've never done it because it always feels sad for me because I obviously tried and came up way fucking short. But if I had succeeded in a different professional avenue, yeah, I think that'd be a blast.
Yeah. It's fun.
Got a text here from Hank because he saw that he had the missed FaceTime. Asked him, what temperature of water do you use? He says tap water temperature water.
Yeah.
So that's a spectrum. And I said, so okay, it's like slightly colder than room temperature water. No ice or anything, just straight
like cool water.
Slightly cool water.
It's underground water.
Yeah. Like if you turn the cold faucet on for just 5 seconds. It doesn't get time to get too chilly. Got it. So everybody out there that tweeted something angry at Hank earlier in the episode when he didn't pick up the voicemail, I want you to write him again and say, thank you for the update, Hank. The Macrodosians love you.
By the way, before we go, I just want to give Whitey a round of applause for being a good boy.
Good boy, Whitey.
Yay, Whitey.
Good boy, Whitey.
Whitey.
Who's a good boy?
He only just started complaining after however many
4 hours and 15 minutes.
4 hours and 15 minutes. So thank you.
Good boy, Whitey.
Big step. It was a huge risk. I was like, look, he may come and be the absolute chiller he usually is, or be freaked out by the space.
He was such a chiller.
So good boy.
Oh.
Good boy. Boops.
Boops for Whitey.
Boops for Whitey.
Everyone
right.
tweet boops for Whitey.
We love you guys. Thank you for listening to another long episode of Macrodosing. We'll be back on Thursday for Nanodosing.
Yeah.
And then big news coming out next week. Big news. Stay tuned. Love you guys.